What?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tales on Tap. I hope that everyone is doing well on this wonderful Tuesday and that your week is going well so far, but thank you so much for joining us for the latest episode of Aerilon, A Destined Journey. We hope that you're enjoying it so far, but yeah, we're about to dive into another episode. But before we do have some quick announcements to get through. Chris is here.
Hello.
Just having some slight camera stuff happened this evening, so
it was my fault. I did it.
Yeah.
It's not a technical difficulty; it's a personal difficulty.
Just hit the wrong button.
So before we dive into tonight's session, let's go through some quick announcements for you this evening. So, Han, do you want to kick us off?
Sure thing. If you are looking to enhance your D&D experience through additional modules, maps, spellbooks, terrain, all of that good fun stuff, head over to Awfully Queer Heroes on their drive-thru or their Patreon, and also back their Kickstarter. All those links are down in the dungeon below.
Amazing, thank you. And Natalie, do you want to tell us about one of our other sponsors?
Absolutely. The lovely people at Valkyrie-RPG, that's Valkyrie RPG, do lovely dice, terrain, and apparel for all TTRPG stuff. You'll find all them in the dungeon. And if you use Tales 10 at checkout, you get 10% off everything but subscription boxes.
Amazing. Dan, you want to tell us about our other sponsor?
I hate you. If you watched last week's episode and thought to yourself, that looks like a really nice warehouse, I wonder where they got that from. Head over to Tom Cartos Battlemaps, where they sell all your Battlemappy and tokeny needs. All the links are down below. Go sponsor the Kickstarters that are up. Go sponsor him. Go buy some stuff and enhance your experiences with his maps.
Amazing, thank you so much. So, Chris, I know that you're not the physical image of Chris is not here, but
I am still physically here. I'm just not on the screen.
The spirit and the voice from beyond. Would you like to tell us about stuff that might be happening in the near future?
I'm not dead, everyone. Don't listen to Dan. I'm still alive. Yeah, there's lots of things happening in the future. In the future, we're going to have more videos on our YouTube channel. We just uploaded one this week. Go check it out. It's all about Daggerheart. And we're also going to be going to the UK Games Expo. There'll be more information about that on our social medias. As always, you can catch all of our episodes on Sundays on YouTube and split into two parts on Thursdays and Sundays anywhere you listen to your podcasts. Other things will be happening. Keep an eye on our socials.
Amazing. And talking about socials, we are on all social media platforms, including Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and more. You can find all the links for them down below. And as Chris said, we do upload our VODs to YouTube every single week on a Sunday, roughly between 6 and 7, depending on which time I decide that week is the right time to post it, because I forget every fucking week. So yeah, make sure you go to YouTube, click the subscribe button, notification bell to be notified of every single VOD that we upload. Not only Aerilon, but all of our previous VODs are going to be up on there as well. And as Chris said, anywhere you cast your pods, you can hear it in audio form. We have got all the social medias. The links are downstairs. Make sure you go and follow us, because that's where to keep up to date with all the latest Tales on Tap things. As we have been joined over the last couple of weeks with Miko from Folk and Myth, we are joined again this evening. Say hi, Miko.
Hi, Miko.
I love that. Do you want to tell the people about where we can find more of your stuff?
Sure. Hey, everyone. I'm Miko, otherwise known as the OKSGM. I am one of the founding members over at Folk and Myth, and I do actual play, creative content, GMing, playing, producing, all kinds of stuff over there. You can check out all of our good stuff over at folkandmyth.com.
Amazing. Thank you very much. So, if you are enjoying what you watch here and you enjoy the stream, then there is a little purple button that you can click below to come and support us, and it helps by not only putting a little bit of extra funds behind us to be able to provide you guys with the best content available, but also helps support some very talented creative individuals as part of this group. You can do that for free by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account to get one free subscription a month. You don't have to spend it here if you don't want. We just like people coming in enjoying what we do anyway, but if you do feel like you want to support us, then there's a little bell down, a little button down there that you can click, and that shows us all the love and support in the world. We have got some amazing stuff coming up, as Chris said, but if you want to know more about that, then you'll have to go and search for that on the internet on other social media platforms, because that about wraps up the announcements.
I want to do a shameless plug.
Speed run it.
Go, go, go.
Go, do it.
If you have noticed, there is a slight change to the slides down below. We have art for Ombrin now. So, obviously, a guest appearance, didn't have much time to work on it, but that's all there. But if you're interested in a D&D art commission or overlays or whatever that might be, check out mine and Natalie's art accounts. Hit us up on Discord, whatever it might be. !art in the chat.
Do that thing. Do that thing. And there's lots of other fun things you can do.
Speaking of,
Hold on.
we did receive a fan art
Yeah, we did.
last
Oh,
week.
yeah. We did, yeah.
And
absolutely
so
right.
if you guys have fan arts of our characters or parts of the campaign, please send them to us over on social media and we might
Love to
feature
see it.
you guys on our social media as well. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah, I believe that was Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
so
was,
Andrew,
that was
yeah.
one of my players in my East Era game, actually.
Great.
Oh, hell
Love
yeah,
it.
dude.
Oh, wow.
Loved it.
yeah, it was so
Very
good.
solid.
So good. But
Love
that
it.
about wraps up all the announcements for this evening. We have got back to the full round table of D20 rolls, so I'd like everybody to roll me a D20, please, and the lowest score tonight will be recapping for us next week. And Chris, you have impeccable timing, so you can have advantage on your roll.
What do you mean?
That's good because of your stag weekend this weekend just gone, Dan. I have a lot of D20s.
Nice.
We were rolling for things.
Yeah. We won't go into that. If you want to find out more about that, you can find it
Just
all on our
tricks, just
social
tricks,
medias.
just tricks.
It may have involved a shoe.
God, no.
Does it involve drinking from said shoe?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Not a new shoe either.
Okay, Han, what did you get?
I got a 9.
A 9. Is anybody got lower than a 9? Natalie, what did you get?
I got a 7.
A 7. Anyone less than a 7? No. Excellent.
Mika rolled?
I don't. Has Miko rolled?
Does Mika roll?
Do you want to do a recap? Do you want to?
You don't
I
want
think
that.
Mika should roll.
Yeah, I reckon you should. Why not? Let's see if you get lower than a 7, and you might be able to recap for us next week. Won't that be
I
fun?
got a 9.
Oh, unlucky. Natalie,
Roll
if
with
you-
disadvantage.
Oh, and I even rolled a d12 and I got a 9.
Nice. Well, by the law of odds, that means. So, Natalie, if you can make some notes for us this evening, you will be recapping as Leanna next week about the events that unfold this evening. So, that about wraps everything up. Let's kind of jump in and play some D&D, guys. So, if you haven't got a drink already, and Ruth, if you've not eaten yet, then you need to, woof, 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 wolf that down, get yourselves comfortable, because we're about to dive into tonight's episode of Tales on Tap. This gets worse every week.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm running
Yeah.
out.
Second time, by the way, that Dan is going. What?
Situation report. Edivir the Ghoul. Week 8 in Windmere. Our pursuit of those responsible for the drug epidemic known as Flux sweeping the city has recently turned out a couple of new leads. One, the slippery noble Gideon Malgrave, who set us to the task at the promise of clearing our names, may themselves be involved, or at least their butler. Two, a mechanical person by the name Ombrin, brought to us by the Raven, had spotted the serpent and skull insignia on a cart that nearly ran them down in the streets. My suspicion is that these carts were transporting the illicit goods we had previously found at Aldin's. Their memory is failing them at the moment, but they sense some familiarity with the symbol, and decided to follow it to a warehouse on the outskirts of the western middle city. This warehouse was to be our next objective towards our primary goal, but there was other factors to consider. Leanna and Pym had been suffering from what Virgil described as the curse of lycanthropy. I'd heard stories of werewolves as a child, but this was real, and it was contagious, able to turn someone as well-mannered and harmless as Pym into a savage killing machine. Virgil also said, sometimes it can be controlled. Anyway, another potential ally in the city, known only as the Raven, offered to take Pym somewhere that might help him quell this new beast within him, while the rest of us made our way to the warehouse at Ombrin's direction. Initial scouting of the location revealed several enemy combatants within, as well as the presence of noxious gases likely caused by the flux-making process. A carefully placed smoke bomb in the basement drew part of the force away while we made our infiltration, but, well, let's just say, we didn't make it in as far as I'd hoped before we were spotted. Kiara guided us as best as they could from their spectral vantage point, but Leanna was spotted and I let off a shot. The fight begun as the guards descended on Leanna, Virgil, and Ombrin on the ground as I made my way across the rafters. Harsh hits were exchanged on both sides, and while we were almost surrounded, the tables turned at the arrival of the Raven and Pym. The gases didn't make things easy for us, but Ombrin was able to, quite stylishly, remove a breathing mask from one of the guards and pass it to Virgil, while Pym summoned a sphere of fresh air, try to say that 5 times fast, around my head. The tables soon turned again, though, as tables often do. From below, an enormous brute, laden with pipes and pumps, filling him with flux, emerged. Kiria swooped down in her spirit form and attempted to possess this new foe. But the flux-induced rage was too much to overcome, and to be honest, I had no idea they could even do such a thing. Leanna had also taken a beating, and the same lycanthropy curse that took Pym in the days prior now took hold of her. To make matters worse, Virgil, hoping to disrupt the flow of flux into this larger individual, aimed their magic missiles at one of the pipes, loosening it and filling the surrounding air and the lungs of the surrounding people, including a couple of guards and Leanna, with flux in her new wolven form. But where some might see a mistake, I saw an opportunity. As the monstrous man charged Virgil, he let off a powerful blast of magic, giving me the opening I needed to charge over the shelves, jump onto his back, and with a word, where once there was flux, now there was water. The decanter of endless water I stole from Alden's warehouse came in a lot more handy than I thought. Drowning in his own suit, it only took the slice of the right artery to finish him off. Now, though, we've got other things to deal with.
Amazing. Thank you very much.
There was a large part of the episode I wasn't present for, though.
Exactly, and I shall recap exactly that. So, as Edivir rightly suggested, Pym was taken by the Raven to a secret druidic circle within Winmere, where he met a lovely individual who decided to take him on what they only described as a spirit walk. Pym and this individual decided to, Thalia, the satyr individual within the druidic circle, as Pym discovered the first step in being able to control this curse that had controlled him not a day before. Through the spirit walk, Pym experienced a number of different things, but at the end understood the lesson that was being taught, that it was all about balance, and having balance and the balance of mind being the first step of being able to control any aspect of life, whether it's a curse or not. Pym then also, during this spirit walk, was greeted by a small fox. And once coming out of this experience, found on the top of his arm a new tattoo with the face of a fox on it. The promise of further lessons that needed to be taught, and the borrowing of a staff from Thalia. Pym and the Raven rushed to the side of the group of adventurers. We pick up tonight's session in the warehouse proper. The group only just moments ago vanquishing the individuals inside and having a few run off into the streets of Windmere. The huge, muscle-bound, flux-doped brute fell to the floor. Tonight's session starts with us dealing with a very serious and very real problem. As the group find themselves on the ground floor of the warehouse, staring at Leanna's new lycanthropic form. How are they going to go through this? What are they going to do? Will Leanna kill them all? Will she escape into the city and kill people that we still care about, but maybe not as much, but we still care about them? Or will they actually manage to do anything about this at all? Well, we're about to find out. But first, Ombrin.
Yes.
At the end of the fight, and as the chaos around you begins to quell, through that fight, you take a couple of heavy knocks. You feel a little bit unlike yourself, or the self that you have known the past couple of days. Something isn't quite there, or maybe there's more there. You just can't quite place your beautiful, cute, metallic finger on it. But through a moment of self-reflection, you realize that through the sheer impact and force in which you were struck, something has happened inside of you. And some circuitry that may not have been connected starts to fire. And for a moment, you see glimpses, images, more than anything. A wide horizon, stark black and yellow sails, kind of being battered by the gales of the wind, the creaking of wood around you, and some faces that, for some strange reason, seem familiar to you. The first one of a dark, brownish, blackish haired dwarven individual with braided beard, huge boots up past knee height, with a wonderful black and gold overcoat on, stood at the helm of a great ship. The next image, similar but distinctly different. Faces that you do not recognize, scarred, battered and war-torn. Faces of individuals and another ship by the side of the one that you're on. Smoke billowing all around you. The cries and screams of people in pain, fearful cries for help. And next, you see the image of the bottom of the ship fading out of distance above you. Wind swirling all around you before nothing. This is strange to you, Ombrin. Have you lived through this? Is this one of your experiences? There's too many gaps here, too many questions that need answering, but not enough to go on right now. But these images flash, almost as though you are accessing part of your processor that you just haven't been able to access until now. But more on that later, because in your immediate surroundings, you see this hulking, white-furred were creature, but feet away from you, snarling, blood dripping from their gall. You are all able to see the sheer look of rage. The warehouse around you all starts to clear of the toxic gases through the help of the window at the top of the warehouse being smashed by the Raven and Pim's entrance, and the door being left open ajar. But Ombrin, this also concerns you because you know the toxicity of the fumes that you've just kind of come into are now escaping into the wider area within the city. But that might not be your most immediate issue. As you see the were-creatured form of Leanna on all fours, just kind of going... growling, snarling. You may not have been able to pick that up, I realise, because of the noise cancellation.
It was picked up.
That's fine.
It was picked up.
That's fine, good. But you all stare at this form of Leanna. Is there anything anybody wants to do?
Anyone?
Yes.
Anyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Evan, you're muted.
I think.
Oh, I am. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
There we go.
So I'm still on the shelf, right?
Yes, you are where we left last time, so yes.
Okay. I'm just going to turn around to everybody else and say, this is a wild chance, but I think I can do something about this. But we only have like a couple of seconds before my magic she snaps out. I think I could put her to sleep.
Edivir is kind of... I don't have the map up right now. I'm looking at the continent map. So is there anyone immediate? I think Virgil's near, right?
That's right, yeah. So
Should be Mika and Kiria around the big man.
I shall put the map on for you guys just so you can get your spatial awareness of where you are.
You need to let me into the room.
You need to join then.
Let me in.
We need to let you back into your character first.
You're not there. Oh, okay.
It's just Leanna's not here.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay,
That's fine.
so
That's fine.
it's me and Edivir there.
Mhm.
What do you want to do, Pim?
If you've got an
If I
idea,
can
do it
put-
quick.
If I can put her to sleep, we can maybe bind her up with something. Eddie, do you still have a rope?
Yep.
All right. Well, you have to be quick, because it only lasts for like a minute. But I can keep casting it if it works. Otherwise, we need a quick backup plan.
I have
And
a
I'm
potential
you go
backup
first.
plan. I don't think it's gonna work though.
The time is ticking, guys. As
Edivir
you
is just gonna move around to sort of interpose between Leanna and the door.
Okay.
I've already moved myself.
Mm-hmm.
Send her to sleep.
okay. Here we go.
I'm gonna move towards Leanna.
Okay. You see, as you start walking to...
Gonna take?
What's he going to take? Such
Sorry, go on. Go on.
Okay. As Kiria, you start to walk towards this form of Leanna. You see Leanna or Leanna's
Go
werewolf
on, then.
form start to take a half step back. And you see, Kiria, that there is this look, and you see the cracks, the purple cracks around their eyes, and you see that there is some restraint there as you step forward. The claws digging into the wooden planked ground, that they're stood on as they kind of like half step back but drag the nails
So-
indenting into the ground
Do
as
I
they're
get the
looking at you.
sense then that just from that, whether I don't have to, don't know if I have to make an insight check, can I kind of see if Leanna has any semblance of control right now?
Okay, make me an insight check.
She should still be under calm emotions, by the way.
As
Only a 4.
Kiria
Yeah, that's the name.
begins to sort of step towards and away from Edivir, he's just going to go, Kiri, we're bringing her home. Remember, we're bringing her home. She wants to go home.
She wants to go home. Hey, Leanna?
And as you step forward, you see that the snout kind of begins to rear up, and she's showing all fangs and drool, and this blooded like drips from the base of the chin. And with the 4, you don't get the sense that there's any form of control there, but you see there is anger behind the eyes and the want to cause pain.
Yeah. I think Kiria's kind of not letting that dissuade them. They are going to kind of... They're stopping. They're kind of like not showing fear as such, but they're kind of just saying... And I'm going to message into Leanna's mind. I don't know if Leanna's going to hear or if this werewolf creature has taken control. I don't really know. But through it, I want to almost start describing, like, just like, hey, Leanna, listen, we're going to get you out of this. We're going to go home. We're going to take you home. We're going to go on a voyage across the seas, across the skies. We're going to take you home.
And Leanna
You're okay.
lunges forward in your general direction. Kyria, and as you take a half step back, Kyria, you see the claw of Leanna come down and just go into the throat of the individual by your feet. Her face a foot away from yours. Pim, cast sleep.
Yes, you need to roll.
Yeah, so I'm reaching up the new staff that I have, and I'm just from the sort of leaves that are on top of the staff. They're sort of just gonna flutter down from the staff and transform in sort of spectral shape, like green spectral images, and sort of get inhaled by Leanna's werewolf form. It's 5d8, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Unless you upcast.
Let me have a look.
Yeah, it is. I cannot upcast.
So you're doing this at first level.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Dan, you were tracking my health points because I have no idea what health points I'm on.
Correct.
It's okay. Ombrin healed you at one point.
Oh, shit.
I did.
God damn it, Ombrin.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
That is good for the first 3. Somebody help me count. 8, 8, 7.
23.
23.
Whoa, that's fast. There was a 7. I was never going to get there.
And last 2. 4 and 6.
37.
37.
What?
27.
33. He's right.
33,
33.
yeah.
She's right.
Okay, 33.
4 and 6 is 10, so 33.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely 37.
Okay. 33. Okay. You see this spell begin to be cast on Leanna. Now, by doing that, calm emotions, I believe, would drop.
Like it's not concentration, I don't think.
Oh no,
No,
that's right.
it's
It's
not.
right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Okay.
But I do need to. With that being said, I do need to check if this is.
If this is
Who are we to know?
I know it would help,
I'm
wouldn't
waiting.
it? Right?
No, if it says anything about if I do something towards the creature, if
No,
that
somebody
creature
just
then
has to
gets
take
that
an
power.
action
They-
to wake them up, or they have to take damage
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
To
Yeah.
shake them
if
away.
it works.
If it works.
Yeah.
You see the leaves begin to settle around Leanna. You see, Kyria, that Leanna's eyes begin to droop ever so slightly before.
Okay. Okay.
That
And
did
Leanna-
not work. Sorry, guys.
Immediately spins and looks towards you, Pim, and begins to charge in your direction.
Nope.
Backup plan going inside.
And leaps towards Calm
Can-
Emotions is broken.
Can I try to intervene here for a second?
Sure.
I think Ombrin, in seeing Leanna attack, or obviously lunging to attack, will surge forward and attempt to grapple her.
Okay, so this
He's going to
be...
suck at it, but he's going to try.
Okay, so I'd like you to... It's a contested athletics against an athletics or acrobatics, so please go ahead and roll me an athletics check, please.
Ooh.
It's not a bad roll. It's a 19.
A 19. Okay. That is unfortunately just off. I rolled an 18. It has a +2 for a 20. You grab, and as you kind of grab and try to grab hold of Leanna, the speed in which they're moving towards Pim, you grab and unfortunately just grab the hair that just it might be molting season or something, we don't know, but you just get a grip of hair. Leanna leaps and with one swipe towards Pim, woof, to knock you off the shelf, Pim.
Ooh.
That is a 17 on the die.
That hits. Yeah.
For 1 second. Bear with me, sorry, 1 second. This is 2d4.
That's all right.
1, 2, thank you. So that is going to be 8 points of slashing damage as she knocks you backwards off the shelf. So that's that's
2d6 because it's 10 feet up, right?
Exactly that, yeah. So an additional 2d6 for an additional 7 fall damage. I will allow you to make me a dexterity saving throw to attempt to half that.
Sure thing. Dexterity saving throw. That's 19.
19. You can half that. Very good. So half the 7 to 3.
3.
Yeah, 3 points of as you go. Boof, but you are prone, and Leanna's werewolf form lands over you and goes.
And I attempt to blast Leanna with the decanter of endless water to get her off Pim.
You have unleashed.
Using the geyser feature.
Okay, how often can you use that in a day?
I've been reading it and I couldn't find anywhere it says that because it's endless, right? It's not like it by its nature it doesn't run out.
Okay.
and I can't see like any once a day or you can't do this until next long rest. It just says as an action.
Okay, no problem. So you point the geyser. So you are on the opposite side of another shelving unit. So how are you going to do that? So you're going to race and climb up?
Yeah, I'll hop up
Okay.
to here.
Okay, so you...
They've got flying.
Oh yeah, wait.
Yeah.
I'll float up.
Okay, so I'll bring the map back up so that we're all aware of where things are and who's doing what.
I also have something I want to do when we've done this bit.
Okay,
I'll
so
Harkonnen my way up to the.
Pim is down here and Leanna is just over in this direction here.
Okay, I'll hop
Stood
across if
over.
I need to.
And why don't we let the people at home see what we're talking about as well? So as you can see, these individuals are all dead, including the guy that wasn't conscious but is now also dead. Oh god, that dude's dead, and you on there, and you geyser.
Yes.
And you see
Gaza.
So this there is some rules to this, so it's probably not going to work, but it's a strength saving throw.
Okay.
DC 13. But that's specifically to knock them prone.
Okay, so it will hit them. They are not knocked prone. That's a 16 on the die, or an 18. As Leanna's werewolf form gets blasted and hits into this shelf here and hits the ground with this torrent of water, bang, 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 hitting into the side of Leanna. You see where you're stood, Edivir, the raven looks down towards Leanna, looks at you immediately and just goes... and just starts shaking their head and just hops off the top of the shelving there to kind of put himself in the way of any visible exits from where this form of Leanna is. Is there anything anybody else wants to do?
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to cast Disguise Self on myself, and I'm going to make myself into a short, small Leonin who looks like they have a familiar resemblance to Leanna, and is going to go on all four haunches, and is going to slowly, like, kind of scared, peek around so that, like, he's in, like, this small, like, Leonin cub is essentially in eyesight with Leanna, and is looking scared, and she's like, Leanna? I thought we were coming home.
Mind games.
Okay, I'd like you to make me a deception check with advantage, please, because of the disguise self. Disguise skelf.
Disguise Self.
Disguise self.
Oh, the tweezers!
Kiara costs.
Disguise skelf.
Disguise calf.
27.
Myself.
37. Jeez.
27. I got no 20.
Still good.
Got no 20.
Okay. And where are you peeking? Which corner are you peeking out from around of, Kyria?
Probably. I mean, ideally, if I can, like here.
Sure, I'll say that you're rushing
I would have,
around.
like, as soon as she began to move towards Pim, Kyria kind of took off, and then near where Edivir is, she kind of, like, they kind of had this idea, so they've gone round the side.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Natalie.
Yes.
Based on, and again, this is a bit out of game, based on what you messaged me the other day, you're comfortable with this, right?
100%.
Cool. So Leanna flies to Nimbusa. No, I'm joking. Kiara takes. No, I'm sorry. I'm joking.
We're
Leanna.
gonna have to start calling her Kyriatos for a little bit.
That's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to Kyriatos.
Yeah. So Kyria steps out from the side of one of the boxes. Leanna looks towards the cub, wide-eyed, and you see now, Kyria, a look of not only rage but fear as they then and race off and just charge and hit the raven. Okay, that's a good roll. Not like an attack, but barge into the raven. The raven will then... you see the form just barrel into the raven. The raven flies off onto their back and kind of skid about 5 feet backwards on their back. Leanna's form leaps over and begins to race off to the far end of the warehouse.
I'm going to keep pace. I'm going to chase her.
I'm pretty sure she would be dashing if we're thinking about what we're thinking about.
I can do that twice.
That's fine.
She would be dashing.
Okay, so Edivir, you immediately take flight and action dash and bonus action dash just to keep pace. Yeah, okay.
I'm going to be keeping around 50 to 45 feet back.
Okay.
In case she changes her mind.
Okay. Anybody else want to do anything in this moment, just before the next thing happens?
If I see
How far
Edivir running off, I will also keep pace since I can do the double dash thing as well.
Okay, so Ombrin, Edivir, you'd start charging off after Leanna.
I'm imagining little wheels popping out like Hillies.
I like that.
Given how high the shelving units are and all these things, how from where like most of us are stood, how well is our visibility of Leanna?
You won't be able to see her at all from where you are now.
Okay.
Pim, you will not be able to see her. Kiri, you will not either. Edivir will. Ombrin, you won't be able to see Leanna, but you will be able to see the direction in which Edivir has travelled, and you've just started off to follow, more essentially following Edivir with the knowledge of, we must be going that way for a reason. As you kind of come perpendicular, like to where the Raven is, he kind of like looks up to you on his back, Edivir, and just goes, "Go! I'll cover this!" And he begins to like sit himself up. You see Edivir, Leanna, dash to this window and just charge, boof, launch up and charge through, smash through the window and out onto the streets of Windmere.
Well, this was a nice campaign.
Edivir, you follow, or do you just, she's gone out the window?
I 100% follow, yeah.
So you out the window as well. Ombrin, as you chase through the warehouse, you see just to your left-hand side, there is double doors that you bust through, the same direction that one of the individuals left through during the fight. You bust through that door and you see that there is a set of stairs that go up to the top floor to where from the outside, on the perimeter check, Edivir mentioned there was a winch that winched things up to the top floor. You see that there is the doors to the outside are ajar and opened, that you're able to jump out and onto the winch and down.
Right.
So Ombrin and Edivir start chasing off after Leanna, leaving Pim, Kyria, Virgil, and the Raven in the warehouse. I will come to Edivir and Ombrin shortly, but we are in the warehouse with the other four. What do you want to do?
What are we doing, guys? Is this what happened to me?
Yes.
Oh, God.
The Raven just stands up and goes, "Oh, well, we've also caused one hell of a racket here. No doubt that we've drawn a lot of attention. What we need to do here, we need to do it quickly. Spread out, look for any information, look for as much information as you can."
The office. There's documents in the office in the drawer.
I'll go up there now. It's fine. You are better suited to this than I. And Virgil will just take off towards the stairs as quickly as humanly possible and just gun that way.
Okay, Virgil starts charging upstairs. Kyria, you kind of see Mr. the Raven look at you and go, "It's okay. Edivir and Ombrin will sort it. Just, we haven't got much time. Spread out, look for whatever you can. It's obvious that we're in the right place."
Okay.
Pim, you stay up here. Look around this floor.
I'll go down.
Kyria, I'll come with you because and
I sing through the floor.
Not that. Oh, fuck. No. And Mr. the Raven just starts to race through the warehouse to the stairs in which the large individual came up and down into the bottom floor.
Yeah.
Virgil, you race up the stairs and into the office. You see that there is a desk. It is essentially a foreman's office. You see that there's a desk with some drawers. There's a filing cabinet. So I assume you just begins to start rifling through as much as you can. Yeah,
so straight into the desk, looking for anything Kyria may have mentioned when they were looking through it, just important documents, things with dates, shipping manifestos, anything with an important looking name, any that we may recognize. Same with the filing cabinets. I am doing my best within the time frame we have to try and just methodically flick through as much as possible. I think there was a locked drawer as well. Is that apparent? Is that obvious? The locked drawer in front?
You don't know. Make me an investigation check, please.
Yeah. Oh, why did I just throw my D20 under the bed? Where's that gone? Oh shit. Okay. I will go to someone else. I need to find my dice.
Bless me. Sorry about that. Okay. Pim, you are on the ground floor of this warehouse. What are you going to be doing?
Start off by panicking for like 5 seconds.
Reasonable. Panic action.
There you are.
What to do? Okay, look for stuff. Come on, Pim. Buck, help me out. Look for anything that might be useful. Papers, flasks, anything that might be useful. You run that way, I'm run this way, and we're just gonna split off.
Yep,
and run in circles.
Bark with his sword arm still like out, just kind of goes to salute. You see like a little chip of wood just hit the ground next to him. He's like, okay.
I'll fix that later.
Oh, okay. And begins to just run about the warehouse. And I need an investigation check from you, please.
Investigation, okay.
As you begin to start opening boxes, barrels, all sorts of things on the ground level. Virgil, what did you get investigation check?
21.
21. You see that the desk, top drawer of the desk is locked. The filing cabinet is not.
Okay, I will spend how many drawers are in? Is it like a 3-tier one? Is it two?
It's small? 3. It is 3,
okay.
Yeah.
I know the locked drawer is important, so he's going to spend a small amount of time looking through the filing cabinet, just seeing if anything interesting comes up while he's looking through it, or if it's just normal files for the warehouse, and then I will look into the drawer in a minute.
Okay, so you start piling through. You open the top drawer, and you see that. You start with the top drawer, and you start thumbing through the documents inside until you do indeed come across a couple of manifests.
Instantly taking those. Anything that looks of interest or could be useful is straight into the bag. Just taking it, not really taking much in of the information. Just could be useful, good to take. Could be useful, good. And then I'm not the lockpick of the party, but I need to get into a locked drawer.
Both of your lockpickers just ran out of the building.
Yep. It's a good time to be a wizard.
Okay.
So this locked drawer, is there just having a general feel of it? Does it feel like the base is quite thin, or is it like quite a secure looking drawer?
It's a solid mahogany desk.
Okay.
So it's solid wood. It's not IKEA made. It's not something that you could just dismantle quickly or anything like that. It's a fairly substantial.
Right. What I want to try and do is, with as much arcane control as possible, I want to try and use magic missile for basically to bust the lock open instead of destroying the drawer and potentially anything inside. I just kind of want to place my hand to it and try and overcharge the locked drawer with magical energy to see if I can just burst it or crack it in a way that will allow me to open it.
Okay, so what spell are you going to use then?
So I want to use magic missile.
Okay.
And I want to use the force damage to try and jimmy the drawer as best as possible. So it will either crumple or the lock will bust, and I can just pull it out sort of awkwardly if needs be.
Okay. So you fire 3 of the magic missiles boom, 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 into the side of the drawers. Go ahead and roll me some damage.
Okay. 4, 1, and 1 again, so 6 force damage.
Okay. You see the side of the drawer from where the side panel and the top of the desk connects begins to shatter, and the top of the desk seems to come away a little bit from the side of it.
Yeah. Then with Mage Hand, instead of using his hands, I'm just going to hook into this bit and just try and drag the drawer out.
Okay, so you grab it with Mage Hand and rip it out. What's the overall carry capacity strength, score of a Mage Hand?
Let me see.
£10.
£10.
It is £10, yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a stealth check. A strength check. Athletics it'll be, but you can have it with advantage due to Mage Hand being thing. And I know that obviously your strength score won't be great, so I'm going to give you a +2 to it because of the Mage Hand.
Okay, cool. I have neutral strength. Right, so...
Well, your Mage Hand is probably definitely stronger than you, so I will give it a +2, brother.
Okay, that's a dirty 20 then.
Nice.
A dirty 20. You,
dirty 20.
With the Mage Hand, just hold the arcane nature out in front of you, just... And the side of the desk just... And as the side of the desk hits the floor, the 2 drawers that were at the top just crash to the ground. And you see that there are a number of different, a couple of, books, some quills, ink, a vial of ink hits the ground and spills onto the floor, and you do see that one of the books has 2 bits of parchment stuck out of one of the books.
I will quickly open the book of interest with the parchment and just see what I am looking at before I pocket it, essentially just to gain an idea.
So the book itself is a scrawling of instructions
to do.
How are you reading this?
I'll read as much as I need to glean what this could inevitably be the instructions to. So it's not like an in-depth read, but it's important words or information. As
you're looking at it, it seems like a formula. And it seems like instructions and notarized, and you see that it's very much had bits scribbled out, rewritten. You see that this is very much like the mad scrawlings of somebody who's trying to create something, and you can put 2 and 2 together yourself, Virgil. It very much looks like this is the instructions on how to create the substance that you have noticed has been plaguing this city.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so that's in there. Any other things that were in that drawer, he's not looking at them, it's just everything is now bagged. I'm taking everything from this locked drawer and putting it in my bag. Okay,
so you're taking the quill, you're taking the 2 books, as well as the bits of parchment that were in there.
Yeah.
Okay, then
I'll take 2 seconds to lament spilled ink and then
pour one out for ink, yeah.
And then I will search through the rest of the mahogany thing desk. That's the word I'm looking for.
There is nothing else within any of the drawers. There is, as you kind of lift the top drawer out, which held the majority of the items that we've just described. The bottom drawer is very much just it has some gloves in it, just leather workers' gloves. You see that there is a half-drunken bottle of rye whiskey that's just kind of tipped out and starts to roll. The glasses that were in there have smashed. You see that there is a small wooden box in there. So you're taking all of that.
Yeah, I'll take the half-drunk bottle of whiskey. I'm taking a small wooden box. I'll probably just have a quick snifter of whiskey, shove it in the bag.
Okay. Oh, I was just where's my pen? I have my pen. Thank you. Okay, anything else from you, Virgil, before we move on to anyone else?
So having taken what he believes to be the most important bits of this room, just looking around it. Sorry. Oh, something got in my throat then. Just looking around the room as like a scan, do I see anything of note or sort of that I would recognize or that looks like it could be important as opposed to what was in the drawer? So just insignias, symbols, anything like that, like those kind of things?
No, nothing like that within this room, no.
No, cool, okay. Then, yeah, I will collect my thoughts, collect my things, and then back downstairs.
Okay, Timothy, what did you roll with your investigation check?
Nat 20, baby.
Nat 20. Okay.
For a 21.
For a 21. So how are you... You're rushing around the ground floor of this warehouse and you're like trying to open as many boxes and things that you can. Now, I will make you aware that a lot of these have been nailed shut. So I need to understand how you're going to be getting into these boxes.
Well, I'm basically gonna pick out a box, take the staff, and try and use that as leverage and be like, I'm not that strong, so I'm putting my body weight in.
Okay, so this very important, lovely, beautiful staff that you've only just been lent is now being used as an effective crowbar, even though it's made of wood. Yeah. No, that's fine.
I'm
that's
trying.
fine. That's fine. That's fine. There are some. You are able. I know. That's fine. You are able to. You are able to open a few of the boxes, but there are a couple that you kind of like jam the wooden stave in, and you're just kind of like hanging and bouncing on top of this thing, and like some aren't opening, but the ones that you do
if
open,
those doesn't work, I'm just gonna put them aside and be like, Bark, I need your help over here.
Okay, so you start to open a few of the boxes. The ones that you're struggling with, Bark does indeed rush over and start like jamming their sword in and like giving you advantage and like giving you the ability to start cracking these open. You find within these boxes with that 21, you see that some of the boxes have like small vials that so as I describe this, you're going to kind of figure out what I'm telling you. So some boxes will have the small mouth and nose apparatus that the ventilator usually sits on. You see one smaller box that has a few of the like metal rings that kind of connect some things. You see that there is another box with the washers. You see another box with some like springs in. Another one with the kind of button mechanism that kind of like would help press the vial down to administer the drugs within. And you see that through the methodical process of like ripping boxes open, you see that the actual all the ingredients there to make the canisters that fit on the faces, the ventilator administering the drug, all the parts of that start to become apparent within these boxes. You see that the metallic end cap for these vials with the insignia of the skull with the snake on it. Sorry, I feel like I have a cold or something coming on because this is kicking my ass, man. You see there are a load of these circled end caps with the skull and the snake on them, and it very much becomes apparent in that moment that okay, everything is here. There's everything here needed to create the masks that these drugs were.
I'm grabbing the insignia things and grabbing like
one
of each of these parts.
They are in a big box, so you could probably grab a handful or two, maybe like 20, 30, whatever you want to do, but to actually get the box, it's huge. It's a big box.
Yeah, I'm just grabbing some small pieces of each of those parts to sort of just stuff in my pack so that I have...
Start your own drug empire, love it.
Yeah.
Yep. Excellent. Okay, anything else from you, Pim?
Can I see any sort of maps or any notices, like notice boards or anything of that? And when I'm running around for like workers to
there is a couple. There is one notice board, a lot of health and safety stuff that's very old, can quite clearly been there at a time. You know, like when lift from the knees, not the back. You know, hard hats must be worn. Look both ways when forklift trucks come in. All that kind of stuff. Like stick to the walkways. That kind of
any
shit.
Company, anything with the company name on, like Ombrin Incorporated.
Malgrave's Warehouse Inc.
yeah. Malgrave's drug shop.
Yeah. Make me a perception, and I'd like an investigation check.
Okay, cool. So, which one would you want to have first? I've already rolled, so just give me the perception or investigation first.
Whichever you'd like. Dealer's choice. So perception and then investigation, or investigation then perception. So you tell me what you're rolling first and then roll it.
Okay, so perception first.
Yep.
I rolled a 6, so it's a 12.
Okay. And now
Just
roll
to
me an
keep it
investigation.
And that's a 10.
10.
For an 11 then.
Okay. You do see that where this notice board is, towards the top, you see that there is a few pieces of paper, like hard hats, safety area, first aid and located somewhere, that kind of shit. And you see that between the cracks of these pieces of paper, there is definitely something in large writing written across the top of this board. And you notice that through your investigation check and your perception, so you start to peel these bits off, revealing underneath the name of a company called the Elysian Alchemy Company. Oh, sorry, the Elysian Alchemical Company.
Chemical company.
Mm-hmm. Alchemical, like alchemy, alchemical company.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. I'm grabbing that.
Yeah, the board. It's literally it's on the board. It's across the top of the board. Pim just walking out, going, "I got it."
It's the evidence we need.
We correct the case.
I'm taking bark and I'm jumping. It's like slice.
Okay, so you're just gonna start
trying to get the fucking board.
Okay, that's fine. You're gonna take you a few minutes to start chopping this thing up, right? Yep. So there are a number of different bodies in and around the warehouse. Are you wanting to search them at all, or are you just stepping over?
Yeah, I forgot about the bodies because we deleted them.
Yeah, I know you did. That's why I'm making
dead people.
Yep. While you consider the blood-spilled puddles everywhere that you and your friends have created, I'm going to go downstairs with Kyria.
Hello.
As Mr. the Raven races down the stairs and kind of gets to the base of the stairs, you will have had a moment or two within this area. Kyria, you see in the basement level of the warehouse, there's in the area in which you're in that is currently beginning to you see there is this heavy smoke that hangs in the air towards the ceiling, but it is starting to dissipate. You know full well that Edivir had thrown a smoke grenade down there not so long ago, but you do see it still hanging around the top of the ceiling, but not enough that it would affect your ability to have a look. You see within the basement of this area, you see that there are a number of different tables that are set up towards the middle of the room. Around the outside, there is a number of different shelves with open boxes, open crates, similar to the ones I've just described for Pim, with various apparatus in. You see, looking up on the tables, there are... It looks like they have been in the process of making, and it's kind of like a factory line of people putting these together. If you could imagine, there are around 5 or 6 of these very long tables, and as you kind of look and kind of take this in, it gives you the immediate impression that this is a very well-oiled operation, and this particular section of this room would have had to have been manned by 10 to 15 people at minimum because of the size of these tables, right? And each station has these small wooden crates next to them with different items in. So one will have the face mask with the next box being maybe a washer or a spring, and then the next one the vial and all the rest of it. And it's very much like an assembly line. Exactly.
Okay.
The biggest thing that stands out within this room is as you look towards your left, towards the back corner of the room, you see there is this huge glass cylindrical, like, kind of towery vessel that has
Kind
been
of like a cryo chamber type thing.
tight, kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But the glass is smashed, and
Right.
around the floor is this purplish liquid,
Okay.
not as visceral as the actual flux drug itself, like a very watered down version of it. So it still has a purple tinge to it, and the glass is smashed outwardly.
Right.
And scatters the ground like in front of it. You see that there are a number of different pumps that go into the top, into this sort of very metallic top bit of this chamber. You see that where these pumps go in, there is still water and this purplish liquid being like pumped into this now empty chamber as it's kind of hitting the bottom of it and splashing out. Mr. the Raven kind of races down the stairs into the room and goes, I wish you wouldn't do that every time. There is stairs,
Every time I haven't done this in front of you.
You
before.
you like the stairs, like you could do this like a normal. Anyway, like okay.
He's been watching
This is definitely the place, huh?
He couldn't be trusted.
Mr. the Raven,
Yeah.
you've never seen me do that before.
I've just seen you do it now.
Yes, you said stop doing it.
Well, yeah, it's kind of freaky. You know, dropping through the floor and shit.
Why do you not know what gravy is?
Yeah.
Asking hard-hitting questions.
Now we're getting to the thick of this campaign.
Yeah. The mystery unravels.
Yeah, Courier is about to crack this case wide open. And it started with gravy.
Yeah.
I just...
Always does.
I mean, I didn't know. I've had something like that before, but I never knew that's what it was called.
Okay.
Why can you pass through floors?
I don't know.
I'm watching you.
I'm watching you.
Then what's
Look.
what? Then
You
let's.
two should kiss.
Then what?
It's a big tube. Right.
Well-
Well, okay. Well, I've got that settled, but there's a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, but we should look around if you quite finished and you see this like smile across his face, like
Yeah, if you're finished,
yeah,
I
whenever
might just do just that.
whenever you're ready. As he starts opening boxes and stuff.
Trouble in paradise.
Could cut it with a knife.
Well, guys, we're going to be here for another 45 minutes while this. I'm curious. I'd like to start making me an investigation check, please.
I shall do just that. Am I allowed to guide myself, please?
Sure. It's going to take you longer than a minute to look around this whole room. I'll allow you. You can roll me 2. Guide yourself on the first one, but then the second one without, because you can have
Okay.
guidance through the first minute.
Okay, so guidance for the first minute. It's not great.
Aerilon, the gravy that binds us, episode 16.
Investigation.
Yes, please.
17. It was all right. That's the one with guidance.
Yeah. So, before you roll the second one and tell me the result, what is it you're looking at first within that first minute?
I think for now, my initial thought is, given this assembly line with stations for 10 people, does it look like it's been recently like abandoned? Does it look as though it's like mid-process down the line? Like, does it look like there's been any activity recently?
Okay. So it's the assembly line that you're...
I'm looking at the assembly line first
Okay.
of all. Yeah.
Cool. So with that 17, you can see that it kind of looks like it's sort of halfway in process. So there is boxes upon boxes on the back wall of similar items that you see on the assembly line.
Yeah.
And you see that it's very much, it looks like halfway through the shift or at the end of a shift, it's down tools and people in the middle of whatever they're doing have just placed whatever they were doing at the
Okay.
time on the table. So you can see, and as you kind of like look along this assembly line, you see very immediately that there is a visual representation of the build of these items by looking at every station, right? And you can kind of start picturing how it all goes together to create the device that people are using to administer this drug.
Yeah. So there's no sign of like it's very much just a case of it was the end of the shift. People have downed their tools. It's not like a scurry out.
It doesn't appear so, no.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't,
Okay.
and you're looking in and around the table. There's a couple of odd bits that have kind of dropped on the floor, but it doesn't look like somebody's been rushing with a box and spilled half of it or anything like that. You don't see, like, it doesn't look like there's been signs of a struggle. What you do see, however, is that the table closest to the stairs looks as though it's out of place ever so slightly, like it's been knocked, and you see that the items aren't placed in any
Uniform,
particular
yeah.
exactly where it looks like it's the table's been knocked in
Okay.
for some
That
reason.
brings me quite well to my next kind of point of investigation. So I think once I've had a view on the process, I am going to attempt to remember as much as I possibly can.
Well, this should be fun. Yeah.
I'm going to attempt to remember as much as I can in the assembly line.
Okay. How are you going to do that? Are you just committing it to memory?
Well, I can't draw anything right now. I'm ethereal. I cannot pick anything up.
Okay.
So I am genuinely just like, I am focusing. I'm like some of the memory practice exercise that Moore and Essen would teach Kyria as a kid, like those are playing, like creating like a little acronym, like a little song to remember each stage of the process, like assigning one, like a word for each section, that type of thing. Like they're just trying to get as much as they can in their head. Inevitably, yeah.
I'd like you to roll me an intelligence check, please.
Okay, straight intelligence.
Yes, please.
Why did that go there? Sorry. 21.
Okay. As you're committing this and you're going through each section, committing bits and putting words into your head, you are drawing on your bardic ability to create, and you start putting a song together in your head as to, and the washer goes on this bit and the spring and you are literally creating a song in your head about the assembly of this device.
Yeah.
So that is how we're going to play it. I like it.
Amazing. Okay, cool. I've got a little song.
I genuinely have to open that out.
So kind of humming that song in their head, they're then kind of gonna follow to, like, you know, the big chamber that's called the broken glass. And you said that there's like that fluid that is kind of not as viscous as the regular flux. Does it look as though there is a trail, like a path? I want to basically look at the cryo-esque chamber, this chamber, and then I want to see the trajectory of like where it looks like it's gone, whatever smashed out of this. Is there like footprints in
Okay.
that type of thing?
Okay, roll me another investigation check. You're not having guidance on this because this is an ongoing investigatory action.
Investigation. That's a 21 again.
21. Thank you very much. Unbelievable. This has been
This is
so
my
good tonight.
pipe
Everybody's rolls tonight have been really, really good. So you do, with that investigation check, see that the liquid itself, there are about 3 or 4 quite large footprints leading from that towards the tables and the stairs.
Okay.
As you're kind of like looking over that, you hear Mr. the Raven turn and go, don't get too close to that, Bumblebee. We know what happens if you do.
Okay. I wasn't going to.
Natalie?
Sorry, you were breaking up for me. I didn't know if you were breaking up for everybody else.
No.
Oh, no, I
Carry
don't think so. So yeah, Mr. the Raven turns and goes, don't get too close to that. Just be careful. Look, they've clearly they're clearly making this in large quantities. Look, and as he points, you see to where Mr. the Raven is, and there are, as I described in the previous session to last, you see that there are these 3 or 4 large vats, like barrels, in the corner of one of the rooms that kind of adjoins. You can see that from where you're stood, and he goes, this is bad. This is really bad. If this is not something that they've like popped up over the last week to do. This is months in the making.
They've been here this whole time. Okay, so right, they're clearly doing something else as well, because I feel like that big guy up there that I tried to get inside, I think he was living inside this. How do we use this against them? How do we bring this down? We can't exactly just carry a bunch of barrels out.
No, but what we can do is destroy each and every single thing within this warehouse, which I think we need to do.
Okay.
Before, well, we cannot be found here, and well, rather than destroy it, we could point the authorities towards it. Either that or...
Tip.
Yeah. Look, we have options, but I think this is something we need to decide together. Look, I don't think there's much more down here. Let's go upstairs, but we need to get out of here quickly.
Yeah.
As he starts ascending the stairs, and he kind of looks back expectantly, like hoping that you follow up the stairs. And are you going to? And he sees you as you woof up. He just kind of and just like stomps up the stairs back to the ground floor. By this point, Pim, Virgil, Kyria, Mr. the Raven, and Bark, you all convene, and Mr. the Raven goes, right, I assume we have everything. You have everything you need?
Just checking pockets, maybe?
Oh, we haven't got time. Look, check 1 or 2, but we have to go. We have to go now.
Okay. I'll quickly check like a pocket, and I'll point to Virgil. That one.
I'm just... I have things to talk with the Raven about, Pam. If you want to root through corpses, be my guest. Raven, what do we do? Like, what's going on down there? Are we destroying this place, or are we leaving it?
Look, we need to get out of here in the first instance. We've made one hell of a noise.
Yes, I'm aware.
We need to... Look, an operation of this size, with what I've just seen downstairs, it isn't just the 8 individuals that we've seen here that operate in and out of this place. This is a huge operation, meaning that at any moment now, those doors could flood through with another 40, 50 individuals. We don't know what we're up against. We need to leave. It's the safest course. Whether we destroy this place or not right now is not the time.
I think we get the SBC here. Anonymously. Now.
Yes, that is a good idea.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone within their ranks?
No, but I have ways and means of being able to disguise myself as one of them and draw them in this direction. But for right now, we need to go.
Yes,
Pim, come on. Pim, roll me an investigation check, please.
I'm gonna guidance myself.
Sure.
Where's my default? That's my default. That's 21 again.
21. So you start having a look at the in the pockets of the individual that Leanna has just stabbed through the chest. The one that you left unconscious for a reason, but Leanna just decided that wasn't a good thing.
I'm so sorry, buddy.
And you see that the individual has a small coin purse on them. They have a javelin that they were using as their weaponry. They do have leather armor on, but it is battered and a bit scuffed at this point, but you have moments. It's going to take you a good few minutes to doff that armor from them.
Yeah, no, I'm not bothering about the armor or the javelin. I'm grabbing the coin purse.
Okay. Sorry, was it 21 that you got investigation?
Yeah.
21. As you're kind of like taking the coin purse out, you see that they have tattooed on their inner forearm the same symbol on their arm as on the vial. So a skull with a kind of wrapped and coiled cobra with the cobra head sat firmly on top of the skull.
Okay, noting that down in my brain, and then turning to the rest of them, it's like, oh, okay, I'm done.
Okay, are we ready?
Yes. So I just have one question for outside of this little interaction here. Is there still a bloke pinned to a wall by 2 knives? Because the Raven did that last time, and he might still be there. Do we hear anything like a guy trying to get off a wall?
So true, I forgot about him.
Like,
you don't hear anything, no, but...
Okay, then that's fine.
Was he not pinned to death?
No.
No, he was just
It was just... Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah.
You can go and check if you want, but...
No.
You don't hear anything.
If I don't hear anyone like scuffling or like trying to like pull knives out of a bit of wood, I'm just going.
Guys, we need to stop leaving people alive. I keep trying to tell you guys.
Okay. So Pim, Kyria, Virgil, Mr. the Raven, Bark, you all leave the warehouse and begin to make your way through the back streets of the middle city. Have you got a destination in mind?
I suppose just going around the back to the window where Leanna left and maybe trying to go that way.
Like, if we go an alleyway type of thing, just so we're away from the scene, so we can collect our thoughts outside, just away from it. And I think after when we found an alleyway, I'm gonna say to Mr. the Raven, if you're able to disguise yourself as an SBC member, Edivir's got the fucking whistle. Sorry, that was not necessary. Okay, my bad.
I like you swearing.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. But basically, I could also be an SPC on lookout. Like, I could be an SPC who's initially found it. I've reported to you, you go report it to someone else, and we bring them there.
Okay.
So I'm standing watch outside.
Sure, we can do that. Are you going to be okay on your own? Because I have to go to Iron Heights or somewhere like that to bring them here.
If Virgil and Pim, you stay within my message range, I can let you know if I have an issue.
And how far is that, sweetness?
120 feet.
I don't think that's advisable.
No, I really don't think you should stay here by yourself disguised.
Look, we're bringing SBC members here, Kyria. If they spot Pim, Virgil, then that's it. We're up. That's
I know.
Look, Pim, Virgil.
Mr. Raven is more than capable of doing this by himself. We need to go find Leanna, darling.
I think Edivir and Ombrin are on that. I think you three head back to the property.
But how do we clear our names if we're not the ones to uncover
that is not something that we're doing right now.
Okay.
Head back to the house. I'll deal with this bit. I'll see you back at the house soon.
I need to stop being this.
Well, then do that. Just get out of here. And Mr. the Raven just runs and begins to start chasing off down the street. In the meantime...
Yep.
The crash of glass on the street below. Leanna's wolf-like form some 50 or so feet ahead of you and Ombrin, Edivir and Ombrin. You see that Leanna is racing at breakneck speed through the middle city towards the center of Windmere.
Okay, cool. As soon as we break out of the warehouse and we're in the streets, I'm now trying to overtake her.
Okay. What's your movement? Is it 40 feet?
40, 80 if I dash, 120 if I double dash.
Okay, and Leanna's movement speed is also 40, so 80 feet. Leanna's wolf-like form can move via dashing, so it will take you
at least three.
Yeah. So it will take you a good minute to get past, but you are flying. You can go as the crow flies above to get past. Ombrin, what's your movement speed?
Base speed is 30. I can go 90 in a turn.
90. So you can keep pace with Leanna behind as Edivir ahead. Okay, you see that Leanna is racing towards the middle of the middle city in the direction of civilization more than anything. There is the markets, it's the whole middle city.
Okay, if any, as I sort of get sort of parallel or a little bit in front of Leanna, whenever we get to like an intersection turning left or right, I am going to throw a grenade. But once she gets to the intersection, I'm going to throw a grenade 10 feet ahead of her. So that it blows up in front of her to try and divert the direction that she's running in.
Okay, and which direction are you trying to divert her to?
Not towards the middle.
Okay, so the next junction is either left towards the high city, right towards the low city.
Yeah, because we're quite close to the outskirts currently, aren't we?
Yes, so the first T junction that you get to, it's either left or right, high city, low city.
Yeah. And it only affects people within 5 feet, so it won't do any harm to her, but I'm hoping that it will shock her enough to make her run in a different direction.
Okay, and so which direction are you hoping to send her to down towards the lower?
I don't think I have control over that. She's running in a direction. I'm throwing the grenade in front of her to stop her running in that direction. If she decides to go right or left, that's up to her.
Okay, well, I'm going to roll for it then.
I'm just trying to divert where she's going.
Okay, so you see that as Leanna gets towards the end... Okay, Leanna begins to turn left as if to go towards the high city, and you throw this grenade, and it explodes in the street, and Leanna just kind of like... and spins almost on their heels, digging into the ground, and starts back the opposite direction towards, now pointing south towards the lower city.
Oh, okay, so maybe I didn't describe that correctly. What? Because she was heading east towards the center.
Yeah,
I was going to try and throw it. So if she's turning in a different direction, I'm only deploying a grenade in front of her to stop her heading further into the city. But if she's going parallel to the wall, then I'm allowing her to do that, and then I'll try and... Basically, it's essentially what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to direct her back towards the western wall.
Okay, so you want to try and, like, even if it's like left again.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we can do that. That's fine.
Okay, so I wouldn't have wasted it if she was already moving, if she was already looking to turn away from the center of the city, I wouldn't have expended a grenade to...
Okay, it's just whenever she turns to go towards the middle city where civilization is your...
Yeah, drop. Or if we get to another junction where I can turn her back on herself towards the western wall.
Yeah, okay, so there is... Okay, you've spent long enough in this city to know that there is no western wall. It is the edge of the island, essentially.
Oh! I didn't know that.
There is a northern wall, an eastern wall, and a southern wall. The city is built to the edge of the island.
The western edge.
Because there is no need for a wall, because unless, other than air traffic... There is no real need to have walls up on that side of the island, correct? So, you are directing her in that direction as you've just told me.
I really wanted to get her out of the city. Okay.
The only way out is through. You can either get...
off the island is definitely out of the city.
Okay. Oh, man. I guess I'm just going to have to try and drop down in front of her then.
Okay, Ombrin, is there anything you'd like to do? As this is happening, as you're racing through this industrial section of Windmere.
For now, Ombrin is just attempting to tail, to stay keep right up with as best he can the pair of them, and just keeping an eye on things. He's more concerned at the potential that Leanna is going to attack someone than trying to stop her.
Okay. As you're chasing and you're trying to just keep up the pace, Ombrin, another flash of images enters your mind as you see and point your mind back to the fight that you've just had, and the last individual, the huge hulking brute who tried to hit you. You noticed on the back of both hands this image of a skull with a cobra's head. And as that image flashes, you see the same image elsewhere. You see the image on the hilt of a sword. A skull with a serpent's head, and this sword being aimed in your direction. And you see the hilt of that sword dripping crimson as the life drains out of the dwarven face of the individual that you saw before. And you... No. And you kind of push the image out of your head, and you've lost ground. You are now 60 feet. That recollection of thought slows your pace, but these images are flashing one after another in your mind, almost distracting you from what is happening right now. But the connection between what is happening right now and what may have happened previously is becoming ever present in your mind.
Okay.
Okay. Edivir, you drop down.
Okay, whoa. Because I had a little bit of a think. Because I was basing my plans off a lot of assumptions, which I know not to be true. Like trying to head her out of the city, not off the side of an island.
Yep.
From where we are, it's big city. How long would it take at the pace that we're moving now to get to any kind of outer wall that is not a cliff?
The closest outer wall to where you are would be the middle city's northern gate, and would take you at this pace about 20 minutes.
Ooh.
It's a big city, and it's 20 minutes through one of the most densely populated areas of the city.
Okay, good to know. So as I'm... Yeah, okay, fine. I'm dropping down.
Okay.
I'm gonna drop down about 20 feet in front of her. And I'm going to do the brace of flying daggers, but I'm going to attempt to either graze or miss.
Okay.
So I'm doing an intentionally fumbled attack, so to make her think that I'm attacking her, but I don't want to cause harm.
Okay.
So I just 2 daggers and kind of send them either side of her head.
Okay, and you see the form of Leanna kind of skid to a halt and just down on all fours, and you see the arch of the back and the snarl.
I'm turning around and I'm running and I'm trying to climb a building.
You see that as you turn to run and you climb the building, Leanna turns left down an alleyway between 2 tall buildings and begins to run down the alleyway away from you.
Away from me?
As you go up, Leanna goes woof down the alley next to where you've just ran up the building. Ombrin, you catch up just as you spot Edivir running up and Leanna down the alleyway.
Okay, my intention is still just to keep giving chase until Edivir says to do something else, or until Leanna attacks someone.
Okay. You begin to chase down the alleyway behind Leanna.
Okay.
Edivir?
At this point, sorry.
What are you doing? I was just going to ask what you were doing. That's all.
At this point, have we been running past people?
There have been a couple of individuals, but not in the sense that, oh my fucking god. Like, you see the pace in which you're running past individuals, you haven't got enough time to, like, clock people's reactions. You are running past the odd individual.
Well, I'm focused on Leanna, so I'm more concerned as to whether Leanna is looking to hurt someone at this point, or whether it seems like they're in a flight kind of situation.
It seems that Leanna gives you the impression that they're in a flight kind of mode and a run rather than attack kind of mode.
Okay, then. That's good, but I don't trust it to last that long, especially when we get to more populated areas. So what Edivir is going to do, just as a precaution, he is going to take out the potion of aqueous form, and he is going to use his tattered scarf to strap it to his arm.
Okay. You do so.
And then he's going to put a small cut underneath it on his forearm so that it begins to slightly soak the scarf with blood.
Okay, so you do so. You are on top of the building at this point, and are you making chase in the same direction?
I'm making chase while I'm doing it. It might cost me one of my dashes, but I'll use my bonus action to dash, and I'll use my action to do that. So I'm keeping pace for a couple of turns while I do this. But yeah, so I'm small cut on the forearm, then putting the potion of aqueous form there and binding it to my arm with the scarf.
Okay. You, Ombrin, and Edivir chase Leanna.
I'm looking, and I'm looking out for if we get to any populated areas, so that I can direct Ombrin to like warn them or something like that. I don't know.
Don't worry. As you begin to chase Leanna down this alleyway, Ombrin, make me a perception check, please.
That's a 2.
Oh,
Okay.
On the dice, I got like +1, so yeah, it's still
3.
shy.
You, though it's in, as much as you're trying to stay single-minded to the moment that you're in, the details of what is happening right now, based on what is happening within your head, you're just unfortunately not picking the detail up of what's happening. And you skid to a halt because in front of you, by 20 feet, is Leanna's wolf form at the end of a dead-end alleyway with a high 20 to 30 foot wall, and you see Leanna's form kind of Leanna, given the save that you've just made, you begin to fight back. The thought of home, the cub that you saw in the warehouse resonating with you as the image of your brother and your sisters come to the forefront of your mind. When I say brothers and sisters, I'm talking the pack.
Yeah, okay. I only have
I know.
brothers, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. As you see the image of all these people that you've missed come to the forefront of your mind as you begin to claw back control. The flux-induced rage starts to subside. And Edivir, you look down into the alleyway and you see this wolf-like form of Leanna collapse onto the floor.
I will drop down to street level.
Okay.
I will move forward without hesitation and go and see if I can assess how injured she is. Is her form reverting back to a Leonin state, or is it staying as a wolf hybrid?
Well, as you look, you see Leanna's wolf-formed eyes closed, and you see the breathing and the chest, instead of going start to relax and get to a normal rhythm. 1 second. Leanna.
yes.
Hey. Hey, little cub. Come on. What's happening? And you kind of open your mind's eye to your inner self. And you see a very familiar figure. Familiar yet lost. Someone that you've not seen in a long time. As you see the white Leonin form of your mother stood over you. Hey, little cub. What's going on?
I don't know. Where
No.
are we?
And you see them kind of look around and go, I don't really know. Where do you think we are? And you look round and you see that there are in front of you wide open mountain ranges, snow-capped mountains, snow-filled meadows with this crisp white flake on top of the rolling hills and mountainsides around you. I don't know. Where do you think we are?
Oh. Am I conscious enough to remember what's been going on, or?
You have no idea.
Okay.
This is, from the moment you were hit in the warehouse, this is the first moment that your conscious self has any real processing power.
Okay. This isn't right.
Okay, well, I've got to go. So.
No, don't
it's
go.
Okay. Bye.
Oh, wait. And she's going to try to run after her.
And as you go to move and you begin to run in your semi-conscious state, your mother just gains distance and just steps over the horizon out of sight. And that is where we're going to go for a quick break.
Ooh. I was very close to doing something which could have gone really badly or really well.
Throw me off the side of the island.
Well, that will turn you into a puddle.
Don't worry.
But a harmless puddle.
Water wolf.
We will be back in about 15 or so minutes. We'll try and be as quick as we can. Please stay with us. We're going to rejoin this party in the group very, very shortly. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Cheers. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tales on Tap. Thank you very much for sticking with us through the break, and we will kick straight back into the action. As Edivir, you descend to the alleyway below, and Ombrin, you and Edivir, you both see Leanna's form sneeze and then begin to change, and it's the first point of like,
It's still moving.
Stamp on it.
I couldn't mute in time. Sorry.
It's like when you squish a spider and then just one leg twitches. You're like, no. You see Leanna's form, though slowly, begin to change back to the Leonin form that you know. Leanna's eyes still closed, and you see that frame just becomes limp and unwavering. The breathing becomes lighter, more controlled and rhythmical. You're both stood in the alleyway next to her.
Oh, thank the lady for that.
I will look at Jag and say, she seems stable, but I could heal her.
Let's see how things go when she comes a bit more to.
Can I check to make sure that she is not in any immediate danger of like failing death saving throw sort of situation?
Sure, make me a medicine check, please.
Alrighty, I will guidance myself.
Sure.
As I guidance myself, I will lose my speed though, because both of those are concentration.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
That is a total of 24.
Ooh.
24. You see that Leanna is in no immediate danger of dying or sustaining any further harm to herself.
Great.
You know, you're a lot faster than you look.
As my feet are like molding back into normal feet to the roller wheels that had been popped out of the bottom of my feet, going back in, I just say, it works in short durations.
Same. Well, we get tired.
Oh.
Ombrin.
Okay.
As this conversation is ongoing, two words echo through your mind. They seem Very familiar to you, but you don't know why.
Okay.
The first word, Seeker. Second word, Horizon.
Okay. I think this is obviously not something that... I mean, I don't think Ombrin has the ability to effectively lie or, like, obfuscate or anything. So I don't think he tries to hide the kind of... I think Edivir might actually see Ombrin almost look like he's kind of glitching out for a moment as his eyes kind of go wonky, as, you know...
Well, no, don't you start as well.
That's the kind of thing that was happening with the whole memory stuff, basically.
You see that it does have a very like physical effect on Ombrin, and you hear as like you hear like circuits like misfiring and like this electrical current sound like in his head,
and that's a genuine reaction. Edivir is like, oh, not now, not this, not again.
As you see the wolf-like form of Ombrin.
Sorry, I thought you were transforming or something.
Oh.
Are you okay?
Was I transforming?
Well, you looked like you were going a little bit skew-whiff for a minute there.
Oh, I think that has to do with memories returning.
We should
Could you
speak
do me
about
a favor?
This. Now?
Well, you have a weapon with a blunt end, yes?
Do I? I'd take out
You have
one
a dagger. You have a
dagger.
hilt on it, so...
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, I do, yeah.
Can you hit me right here? And he kind of points to this dent in his forehead.
Okay. I give it...
No
but
hesitation.
it's almost as if, like, trying to, like, pop a cap off a bottle or something like that. I'm not hitting him. I'm just...
Okay.
Oh, you will need to do harder than that.
Are you sure about that? Or
I mean, I don't know for certain, but I feel like after being injured several times by the big brutish creature, some of my memories started to reform.
Oh, so you want me to hit you?
I don't know. I am doing what I do, and that is experiment.
Come here. And I'm
Just
going to, because I imagine that Edivir would have some idea, having done lots of sneak attacks, how to do like a proper, like a pressure point knockout blow kind of thing.
Okay.
But not to the point of knocking him out. But he kind of just sort of positions himself behind you and kind of gets his elbow over your shoulder as he hits you and goes on the side of your head. And it's quite a hard blow. I'll roll some damage.
Yes, please.
D4 because it's a dagger, I guess. That's 3 plus 3, 6.
6. As you hear the metallic clunk of the hilt of the dagger hit the side of Ombrin's head, Ombrin.
I'm down to 6 hit points, just so you.
That's fine.
Oh no.
A very clear passage of time plays out before you in your cerebral processor. You hear a gruff voice familiar to you. Watch out on the left side! They're pulling up beside us! Batten down the hatches! As you look over to the captain of the ship that you were sailing on, as you turn and say...
Yes, sir.
And you begin...
And just start wheeling over.
You wheel over to the navigational system within the ship and begin to kind of plug into the ship's drive and begin to sink. Let's call it sinking, which you do on a normal thing. And you can see that out of the tips of all your fingers, these small tendril-like cables kind of extend from them and plug into this device on this ship. And you hear inside your head, please state the next journey destination. And in your head, you decide that you're going to override this and take manual control of this ship. And you begin to do so. And as you do, you still have consciousness as you kind of like are looking around, and you see behind the ship that you're on, around 200 yards and closing, another vessel. Black sails, and on the sail, a skull with a cobra's head placed firmly on top of it. Starts, and you hear as two cannon fires whistle past the top deck, like the captain turns and goes, "First mate Ombrin, evasive action."
Aye, sir.
And you begin to move the ship in such a way to try and maneuver it away from the incoming vessel. To no avail. The ship behind you, smaller, lighter, faster, begins to ascend upon yours. Grappling cannons, as these 8 lines with grappling hooks fly over to the side of your ship as the other one comes up to the side of the one that you're on, as the grappling hooks. You see the men-at-arms aboard your ship, panic-stricken, fear-ridden, grasping for cutlasses and blades in hand, racing towards to try and chop off these ropes that have attached to the ship that you're on. Not in time, as 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 individuals board the side of the ship and begin this siege of the vessel that you're on. "At arms, gentlemen! We don't go down today!" As the bearded dwarven captain draws his sword, you see, and you kind of feel at this point the panic start to set in. You have a job to do, but you start seeing people that you've known for months and years of your lives just begin to land on the ship. You see men that you've grown up with, people that you've lived with, begin to fall at the sword hilt and the slashing of the swords of these men that have jumped and boarded the ship. What do you want to do, Ombrin?
I think being like connected to the navigator's system, Ombrin realizes that he is stuck and unable to do anything effectively. So I think he's going to trigger the autopilot back on again to just keep the ship moving forward and disengage and immediately just... He doesn't enrage. That's not like a thing for him, but he immediately goes into like a protect mode and starts attacking anyone that is not one of his close friends with such vehemence that he is intending to actually truly harm and kill someone. Which is probably the first time he's ever had to do that in his life.
As this memory is playing out in your mind, you see anything that you can get hold of as a weapon, as well as your own weaponry and your own skills and abilities. You are unleashing everything that you have upon these individuals with swift daggers, grabbing flintlock pistols off the floor that people have felt that have dropped and firing them at individuals. And as you race down from the wheel of this ship and the navigational system of this ship down to the main deck, as you get down, you see the captain, and you see in front of him this tall human, long, silver-haired individual with this kind of huge braided into one single braided beard with a scar across one side of their face running from their temple down the side of their eye right down to their chin. you see they have engaged this dwarven individual, this captain of yours, in single combat. And just as your captain seems to, as if they're going for the killing blow, their blade stops in mid-air. And they look down. And the cutlass of this silver-haired individual deeply embedded into the chest of your captain, and the blood pouring down the blade across the hand to the hilt of this cutlass, and the hilt of which a skull with a cobra placed firmly on the top, as the blood encases this skull and this cobra's head and begins to drop to the floor as you are stuck frozen in place for a moment, this captain being the first real friend that you remember ever having in the world. And as you step forward, a huge explosion on the side of the ship between theirs and yours sends you off balance as you hit the side of the ship, dropping the flintlock pistol and the blade as you begin to plummet off the side of the ship, looking up and seeing black smoke, fire, and more explosions, and your ship, the Horizon Seeker, plummeting towards the ground as you pass through clouds. And then nothing. Emptiness. A blank space in your mind until another voice. Excuse me, you shouldn't be just wandering around the forest, you know. It's dangerous out here. As you see this blonde-haired, taller, human individual, kind of human at first, until they begin to approach, and you see the sudden points on their ears. Are you lost, little one?
By definition, I think so, yes.
As you cut back and Edivir is stood over you with the blunt end of the blade.
I think at this point, Edivir's backed off to interpost between him and Leanna and has two daggers out. But that was a big one.
I think during all of that, lasting probably several seconds, all you saw from Ombrin was his eyes kind of, fall down, because his eyes don't close. Right, he has kind of like gecko eyes, and I think that they just looked straight down. And I think that his entire body just seemed to slump, and he still stayed standing, but he was just slumped, almost like he was offline for a few moments there.
Oh, okay.
And as he kind of comes back to, and his eyes come up, and his body comes back up into a straight stature, he's looking at you directly and says, "Oh my."
Did it work?
To a degree, yes. I was able to see a great deal more, and I was able to feel more. So,
Is that good?
ow.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think Leanna's seemed to have calmed down, so if you wanted to do
Yes.
the thing. I hope it's not.
Yes.
Unless you needed it for yourself.
No, the injuries will heal in time. I think that we should relocate the others. They were still in a dangerous situation, and it would be useful to return to them, I think.
Yeah,
I would not
agree.
want to keep you separated from your friends on my account anyway. And he just moves over and starts fiddling with his arm and like coats Leanna in this spray foam of healing liquid, it probably also cleans any dirt and grime off out of her fur and stuff like that. as the spray foam gets absorbed in, and you will heal 9 points.
So
Am I tracking that now, or are you tracking that?
you are tracking that now. So add 9 hit points back to your character sheet, please.
And she's on 9.
I mean, she would have to be on 9.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And so as Leanna starts coming to consciousness, I think Ombrin just kind of leans down, watching her face intently, looking for any potential like anger or hostility or anything. As her eyes come open, she just sees Ombrin's face.
Edivir kind of pops up over his shoulder.
Do I wake up?
Leanna, you begin to open your eyes just at the moment that you'll see in your mind's eye your mother stepping over the horizon as your eyes open to see Ombrin and Edivir over you.
Yeah, just as that moment of consciousness, you do hear very faintly, Ma?
No, most definitively not.
Leanna,
You're okay.
you now have 2 points of
Ma.
exhaustion.
Oof. God damn.
Just split the other. You
You
can't
see,
win.
she looks around, and she's just,
It's all right. It's okay. You didn't hurt anyone. No one you weren't supposed to.
You look around, Leanna, and you are no longer in the warehouse.
yeah.
You are no longer in front of a giant, brutish individual. You are on the floor in a semi-darkened alleyway in very unfamiliar surroundings.
Where are we? Where is everyone else?
It's okay.
We
we're
are
off.
in an alleyway in the northwestern quadrant of the city, on our way back to return to your companions.
Don't worry too much about the details for now. Okay, just all you need to know now is you had a bit of an episode, but it's over now. We're not far away. Didn't last long, and you didn't too badly hurt anyone.
I didn't.
Is episode the official term for that?
I don't know what the official term for any of this is.
I do. Fucked up. Sorry.
I can think of a few, but
Yeah.
not the official ones.
Ombrin just kind of leans over and holds out a hand to help Leanna to her feet.
Seeing the size of him, she takes his hand, but also reaches down to the floor to push herself up as well. Not quite trusting that he could lift me, like
Well, to be fair, he can't actually, because he has a strength of 8, but he has armor that actually gives him magical strength to be able to.
Yeah.
Because that is what D&D is all about. Magical strength. Leanna, as you kind of like, with the aid of Ombrin, to kind of help you up to your feet, your muscles ache, your bones feel so dense right now, your back is in bits, and you just feel extremely tired and very, very battered.
I can't fight now. If you guys need to go back and help them, I'm not going to be any use to you.
The fight's over.
Oh, did we win?
Yeah,
Oh,
thanks. And you helped.
okay. And you
Don't
can
worry
see
about
that she is being quite flippant. She's just like, she's not, you can tell that she's not really feeling.
Addressing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
So, are we going
need
back
to-
to the warehouse, or are we going home?
I mean, how long has it been since we left the warehouse by this point?
About 15, 20 minutes or so.
Hopefully, whatever they needed to do, they've gotten done by now. We should rendezvous back at the house.
Are we far from the house?
Not that far.
He says questioningly to the DM.
and also to try and make you not feel so bad.
It's just round the corner.
It's not far from here. But
Would
we
you
should,
like me to send my companion in search of the others to see if they are still at the warehouse?
That's probably a good
That's
shot.
probably a very good idea, yes.
He just caps on the canister, and the little hummingbird kind of pops out, floats in front of him, and he issues some mental communication to it to
Oh,
fly off
before-
and go in search.
before it flies off, maybe say that we will meet them back at home?
Oh, that's
Unless-
don't worry about
unless we're needed.
that. It's okay.
Tell them-
Don't worry about that.
The hummingbird just flutters off and starts flying off in the direction of the warehouse. I will come back to you in a second, Ombrin, with that information. What would you like to do while that's happening?
I
We
think
should
he's
get
just
back.
looking at Edivir and Leanna.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have any of my shit?
The other group will have it. You do not have your items, or your bag, or your axe. The other group will have that.
Am I a naked cat?
As naked as a Leonin can be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay.
So let's say
That's fine.
no. Leonin are always wearing clothes.
Yeah, true.
If my back can be seen, would be the first time that Edivir has seen, as I start moving forward, that she has some very deep scars that actually, like, the fur sort of separates slightly. They are deep scars along her back. She's been very conscious up until this point to be covered. But yeah.
And just to give everyone an idea of how many, is this across the scape of your back or just in specific places?
So this is from like the shoulder blades down to middle back, and then they crisscross. There's probably like 7 to 8 deep welt scars that they're healed, completely healed, but the fur no longer grows on them.
Okay, thank you. As the three of you pick up and begin to start moving home, Edivir?
Yeah, he's just kind of takes the old scruffy scarf that he was off his arm, puts the potion back.
The bloody cloth.
Yeah. Oh, fuck it. I guess. And
Leanna
also,
doesn't care.
also his own sort of scarf, red scarf that he's got on,
Mm-hmm.
and just as he walks beside it and just holds them out.
And I, without word, take them and drape one around my waist and one around my shoulders.
Ombrin will pull off the cloak because he doesn't care about being actually hidden and, disguised. He will pull off the cloak that Edivir gave him and hand it to Edivir and just kind of like tilt his head towards Leanna.
Take
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
As you start heading deeper into the middle city of Windmere, about 10-ish minutes pass between now and then, and Ombrin, you get, because you can communicate over great distances with this hummingbird, you get
They're on the same, as long as they're on the same plane of existence, I can talk to them.
exactly, you get
my way.
the following message. There is some activity at the warehouse. There is a great number of human individuals and human-like individuals, all dressed in quite smart blue clothing, surrounding the building. There doesn't appear to be any sign of violence or bloodshed, but the whole street has been cordoned off. And there seems to be a lot of individuals in and around the warehouse right now.
Any of the other companions of Edivir and Leanna's?
There does not seem to be any of them in sight.
Excellent.
However, a moment or two later, as you instruct it to fly back towards you, another message comes through and goes, I have seen one of them. There is one walking the streets now. The one dressed in black.
Oh, I believe that is the one that was referred to as Mr. the Raven.
That's right.
That is right.
No.
Is there any concern over Mr. the Raven? Are they in trouble?
No, they are moving through the back streets of the city at pace, heading towards the western side of the centralmost point of the middle city. Seems to be heading in the same direction as you.
All right. Return to me.
And it does so, and within 5-10 minutes, the hummingbird flies back into the canister as you close it. And you're back.
And I will tell Edivir and Leanna, there is no sign of the others, and there is a great deal of activity around the warehouse, likely those of authority there to inspect it. My assumption is that the companions were able to either return home, or they have been captured and are currently being interrogated. I do not know which the case may be.
Those are two very different options. Oh, dear Lord.
They would have gone away. If SBC
Yeah.
or guards are down on the place, they would have made their way out before that. And you keep calling us, or them, the companions. We call ourselves the unseen servants.
Oh my. That is a mouthful.
Or just us. US.
That's better.
And you can call me Edivir.
I thought your name was Dag.
Kind of is. But
Hmm.
Edivir to my friends.
Oh, very well. Thank you, Edivir.
For the sake of brevity, the three of you wander through, keeping as close an eye on everyone around you to remain as consciously unseen as possible as you move through the streets of Winmere.
Slowly, because I'm moving at half speed.
Mhm. And you all reconvene at the property. Leanna, Edivir, and Ombrin, you arrive, and as you open the door to the property, Kyria, Pim, Virgil, I will come to you now. You have made your way through the city and back to the property. There is about 20 minutes to half an hour before Edivir, Ombrin, and Leanna arrive. Is there anything the three of you would like to do in this time before I fast forward us half an hour to the group reconvening again?
I'd like to not be incorporeal anymore.
How you going to do that, mate?
I don't know.
Cool.
I just quite like not to be floating through Winmere.
Okay.
Okay.
Own ghost of
If you
Winmere.
were to
I love...
if you were to mention, like, or seemed panicked about the fact that you are incorporeal, I think Pim, with his newly recent sort of trip into the spirit realm, would reach out a hand and just go, so I just got taught this. It's all about balance, apparently. When you're like in a weird place, so just breathe. Try hold my hand like we did before. Just breathe and think about balance and you're being physical.
I can't. There's no breath is here.
No, I know, but just try and think, breathe, and just go through the same emotions that you would do when you're actually breathing. So just breathe with me. And Pim just starts to breathe, and he's gonna try to cast guidance and continuously cast guidance until he can sort of feel like the sense of pressure against his hand.
Kyria, I'd like you to make me firstly a concentration check to see how focused you are on doing this.
Oh God.
Yeah, that figures.
That makes a lot of sense.
That was a bad roll, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a 2 for a 5.
Cool.
No, for a 4.
For a 4. You're focusing on breathing, and then the sudden realization is in your head that, wait, whenever I breathe, I don't think about breathing. How do I breathe? And like a mass panic sets in, like, how do breathing? How do I do? However, once the calmness kind of settles in, you don't notice this, Kyria, but Pim, you feel the material form of Kyria's hand form in your hand. But Kyria, you don't notice this. You don't notice, and you don't know how this has happened. But Pim.
Well, you say that, but you're holding my hand. See?
Oh.
Balance.
Pim's like, that's one in the book. Tick. That's another life I've saved.
I mean, compared to the ones that I've killed, I think I'm net even now.
You got the biggest kill count of all of us right now.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
that's still Leanna.
yeah, true.
Okay.
See?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
Friends. This is what
Always.
friends do.
Always. And I kind of like gesture over to Virgil with my other hand.
Oh,
Okay.
Virgil's wandered down to the end of the alleyway at this point because you two seem to be doing a thing. He's now gone to the other end to start looking around for SBC guards, anyone who might be coming this way from the back end of the warehouse to try and see if we've got a clear passage to just start running, essentially, and moving on.
Okay. Perception check, please.
Reach out to hand to Virgil. Not there. Awkwardly pull my hand back in.
Bark
Sorry.
just grabs it.
You say perception, sorry.
Yes, please.
Perception. Okay, that's a 16.
As you get to the end of the alleyway, you see that there is a detachment of SBC members heading in your direction.
Well, piss. Okay.
Roll me a piss check.
That's
so-
20. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just everywhere.
That's a lot of piss.
I just launch myself. Very quickly seeing the attachment of them, he kind of, with a very quick run, runs sort of like towards them as they're in the middle of this thing and goes, SBC down that way, I'm just going to check this way. Keep going, Pim. I don't know what you're doing, but it must be working. And then I'm going to check the alleyway we came down from originally for anyone coming
Okay.
down to me.
There are a couple of other alleyways, so I'm going to say that you race to each one,
Yep.
and you find one that there is no sight of anybody, and you start directing the group through
Yes.
the alleyways back towards the property, keeping a very firm eye out for any SBC members. And after about 10-15 minutes of travel, you do manage to find your way back to your property and enter the property, the three of you. Sorry, the four of you. How dare I? The four of you.
Yeah, with key out, he very quickly ushers all of them inside and shuts the door, pulls the curtains across, and just sort of... Right. Okay, well, that was interesting.
Now what?
Now we wait for those three to return, and we figure out what to do
Mr.
from
the
there.
Raven as well. Okay. Hang on. Mr. the Raven,
Yeah.
all good?
Yep.
You sure?
Yep. Yeah, so as I said, just follow me. There's been a huge disturbance.
He's fine.
What a legend.
Well, I had assumed he wouldn't be. Right, things to do. I need to read. Yes. And he sort of very absentmindedly sort of pushes past the both of you, and then until they get home, Virgil very much takes out everything from the desk, lays out in front of him, and just starts very methodically reading through the manifesto to the letters to the just as much as he can before people start walking in.
Okay.
Pim takes off his backpack and digs into it and just hands you a plank.
Virgil, deep in sort of reading, just this bit of wood just kind of comes into perfect. Just
That's the company name of the people who own the building.
Yeah, the Elysian Alchemical Company.
just pulling this massive board like this. Did you cut up their notice board?
No, Buck did. And I point at Buck.
Bark just goes,
Come on, Buck. I'm
and,
putting you to bed.
literally like throws its arms down and just like stomps off up the stairs on his own, like. Alright,
No, not that way. This way. Come on.
It just ignores you completely and storms off upstairs after you place the blame on him. Like, it just storms off like a pouty child. Like,
No, I meant to say that you were doing a good job, and I'll start running back up the stairs to catch Bark. Come down a minute later with Bark in my hand and go out into the garden.
okay.
As Bark stomps off upstairs and then Pim runs after him, Virgil will just look to Kira and goes, "Where's he going? Where does he think he's going?"
I don't know. I don't understand how that thing works.
Does he know that we have an upstairs and bedrooms
Clearly understands the concept of stairs, right?
and homes? Apparently, what is that? This is. Oh, I can't think about that right
no,
now.
that's too much. Oh, Virgil. And
Yes.
Kyria starts singing this song.
No.
Yeah. How does that song go, Kyria?
Yeah, I need lyrics. I need to write this down for note-taking purposes.
Hold on. Let me find a
Very important.
Let me find
Very
a red
important.
hot beat for you to like. to spit some
My
magic
name
on.
is Kiri, and I'm here to say.
Now this is a story all
All
about
about how.
Flux Basket.
Okay, you begin to recite this song.
Yeah, I can't do this. I don't even know what
Don't do that to her. Yeah,
I will
I
sing
will go. I
eventually.
apologize. I didn't mean
I
to
will
do
be
that.
singing eventually, but it's not for this.
No.
It's
I
not.
think it's a lot like.
Oh, you
do
tease.
Like,
I don't even
the
get
left
through
part,
nursery
the arm bone is attached to the shoulder bone, and
Yeah.
the shoulder
Yeah.
bone. I am picture it's a lot like that. Sort of.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So, for the sake of brevity, Kyria, Virgil, you guys start going through all the documents, reciting the song, piecing things together. I'm not going to tell you what you find out just yet, Virgil, but I want you to make... in fact, you don't need to roll for this. You're quite an intelligent individual, so...
I'm also going to be assisting as much as my attention allows me to.
Okay. For the sake of brevity,
Last few
about...
minutes.
I eventually give you a quill and some ink to draw with. It's fine.
About some 20 to 30 minutes later, the door opens and in steps Edivir, Ombrin, and a very beaten up and exhausted Leanna.
Like, leaning quite heavily on both of their sort of shoulders.
Little help.
They're not being tortured.
Oh, well, this is... Virgil is one of the first to actually get up, as opposed to normal, and quite briskly runs towards Leanna and places his shoulder sort of under her armpit, and then realizes that this Leonin weighs a lot and he is not a strong individual, and so goes, "Nope, I can help, that's fine. Let's get you to the sofa."
Thank you. I'm glad you're not being tortured.
I'm
you okay?
glad you're no longer a werewolf.
Me
No
too.
harm, no foul.
Do you remember much of what happened?
No.
Good. Okay, that's good.
There was no major damage done. We managed to
As Virgil looks...
head
sorry.
things off a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry. Right, listen, my ADHD's talking. This is Christmas music. Can we please?
Yeah, I was about to say.
I cannot focus on anything else.
I didn't even realise it was Christmas music.
It was quite triumphant. Christmas
All I
music.
can hear.
Joy to the world.
It's alright, I didn't want to have fun either. That's fine. That's fine.
That's what we're here for.
So,
What about you guys? Are you guys all okay? Where's Pim?
He's outside tending to bark. Apparently, his...
That checks out so much. Curious pointing up the stairs, and Virgil's like, "No."
apparently
Virgil.
Bark has knowledge of housing in one-story buildings. You learn things every day.
Talking about learning things.
Yeah.
Virgil,
What I'm about.
You begin to read. Apologies, this is going to take a little while to get through. There is a lot of information to dissect. Okay?
That's what I'm here for, baby.
That was more for the viewers than you, Dan. So, first
Writing these down.
shipping manifest.
Yes.
Vendor, the Alchemical Emporium of Skyhaven.
Mm-hmm.
Recipient, the Elysium Alchemical Company.
Mm-hmm.
Contents: 1. Crystallized ethereal essence. Quantity: 100 vials. Description: clear vials containing concentrated ethereal essence, a crucial component for altering perception. 2. Mystic nightshade leaves. Quantity: 50 pounds. Description: dried leaves of the mythical nightshade plant, known for inducing vivid hallucinations. 3. Arcane crystal powder. Quantity: 30 ounces. Fine powder derived from enchanted crystals, enhancing the magical properties of alchemical potions. 4. Starlight elixir. 200 bottles. Small bottles of luminescent blue liquid extracted from rare starlight flowers, used as a catalyst to stabilize in the brewing process. Essence of Astral Bloom, 25 flasks. Flask containing a rare essence of extract from Astral Bloom plants, providing potions with a signature otherworldly glow and to enhance potency. Special instructions for delivery. Handle with care. Ethereal essence and arcane crystal powder are highly volatile. Ensure all packages are securely sealed to prevent leakage during transit. Use caution when handling mystic nightshade leaves. Direct contact may cause skin irritation. Store starlight elixir away from direct sunlight to maintain its potency. Shipping manifest 2. Ethereal mist extract. 150 flasks. Flask containing concentrated mist extract from the ethereal veil. When mixed, it enhances ethereal properties, inducing dreamlike states. Shadow root extract, 80 pounds. Dried roots of the shadow root plant, known for their ability to deepen the sensory experience. Moonlit dew, 100 vials. Vials of dew collected under the light of a full moon, imbued with mythical energies. Moonlight dew serves as a stabilizing agent. Ethereal resin, 50 jars. I have done my homework, people.
Yeah. I can't write this down. I'm not very good.
Ethereal resin, 50 jars. Jars of a translucent resin harvested from ethereal trees. Ethereal resin is a binding agent. Special instructions for second delivery. Handle with caution. Ethereal mist extract is highly volatile and may even evaporate if exposed to direct sunlight. Ensure proper ventilation when handling shadowroot extract, as its aroma can induce dizziness in large concentrations. Store moonlit dew in cool, dark places to preserve its potency. Ethereal resin should be kept in airtight containers to prevent the resin from hardening. There is a third shipping manifest. Do you want me to keep going?
Is it important?
I will say you've beaten the note taker.
Yeah,
I gave up after ship.
I just looked back at you. I noticed you like frantically writing stuff down. Just now, I looked back at you, just eating a piece of garlic bread.
That's what the is for.
Okay,
I'm still on it.
Yeah.
I'm still listening.
Okay, so
I'm listening.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna carry on. Third shipping manifest: whispering wildflower petals, 30 pounds. Delicate petals harvested from the whispering wildflower, known for their ability to induce the sense of euphoria and tranquility. Eclipse essence, 100 vials. Vials containing a rare essence harvested during solar eclipses. Eclipse essence infuses potent celestial energies, heightening the effects granted to the user. Spectral silk, 50 rolls. Rolls of silk spun from the threads of ethereal spiders. Spectral silk is used as a binding agent. Twilight nectar, 150 vials. Vials of luminescent purple liquid extracted from twilight blossoms. Twilight nectar adds a bitter taste to hallucinogenic potions. Special instructions. It tells you how to handle all these materials. There's a fourth shipping manifest, but it's more stuff.
That's fine. Yeah.
It's more ingredients. So there's lots of shipping manifests, full of loads of ingredients. You then start reading through the manuscript and how the not the manuscript, sorry, the
recipe,
the instruction recipe. Thank you. Yeah, my brain went nope, no words. The instructions on how to brew it, and there is a concise instruction on how the brewing process takes place, and it's been perfected over time. Lots of it scribbled out and rewritten, and you can tell that this whoever has been trying to concoct this substance has taken a very long time to perfect what they're brewing. So,
is just out of curiosity, on the recipe, is there any sign of insignia, name, like initials to it?
There is a parchment that you found in the same book.
Yes.
That says, it has, to my esteemed alchemist, it has come to my attention that you possess a talent for the arcane and alchemical arts, and your reputation precedes you as one who delves into the mysteries of alchemy with great favor. I am in need of an individual of your caliber for a most delicate and lucrative endeavor. Enclosed within this missive, you will find a list of rare and exotic ingredients, each imbued with its own mythical properties. These ingredients are to be meticulously combined to create a substance of unparalleled potency. We call it flux. Take heed, for the creation of flux is no simple task. It requires not only skill, but also intuition, for its effects are as varied as they are profound, and requires your dedicated hands to perfect. Let the whispers of the arcane guide your hand as you blend all the ingredients. Here follows the correct brewing process, and I can read this out as well if you would like, but it goes through how to brew flux. Okay.
Can you send it to me?
I will. Yes.
Yeah.
However, I will read the last bit. So, upon completion, flux will be a masterpiece of alchemical craftsmanship, ready to enrapture the senses and captivate the minds of those who seek its embrace. But remember, use this wisely, for the fate of the world may very well hang in the balance, and that is my intention. Await further instruction regarding distribution. Until then, may the arcane winds carry you on your journey. Yours in mystery, a friend in the shadows.
Of course.
Instruction.
You know, there's only one person that talks like that. Tanner, you bastard! Sounds exactly like him.
Or the Raven.
So, the second parchment piece. Bear with me. Miko, yes, you do. Now you do, yes. The question that you've sent me privately, yes. As Virgil starts beginning to read this out, it becomes very apparent and clear in your mind. Letter 2, instructions for distribution. Okay. To the Master of Shadows. The time has come to unveil our creation to the world, to weave its threads and enchantment on mortal existence. Flux is a masterpiece, a symphony of sensation and illusion. Remember that discretion is paramount. We move in the shadows, unseen, unheard. We will continue to monitor the flow of ingredients as you have instructed, and will maintain a watchful eye over our allies in the shadows. The time of reckoning draws near. We must prepare to face whatever challenges lie ahead. Until then, let the shadows be our sanctuary, and let Flux be our guiding light. yours in secrecy, the architect of your dreams.
What the fuck?
All these bloody monikers. Can't you give me
These
names?
guys are the sexual tension in these letters is intense. Yours in secret.
Yours in secret lust.
The architect of your dreams.
And your nightmares.
I mean, if as Virgil read that out in his own voice, he sort of places the letters down on the table and sort of just sits back in the chair and looks sort of directly towards Edivir, sort of quite intently, and just, well,
It is just staring at the letters.
I forgot a bit.
okay.
Ooh.
I missed a bit. I
By the
realised. Sorry, I missed a
Yes.
bit. I'm just reading back, and I've scrolled too far down, and I missed a paragraph of the distribution instructions that says, "We will start in the shadows, and it will spread like wildfire, reaching every corner of this city, and then the realm, where the thirst for more will know no bounds. Let the cauldron bubble as the rage overflows and the streets fear." That's the paragraph I missed. Apologies.
Well, that makes it a lot more sinister.
Yeah. Sorry. I scrolled too far down. Apologies. That's my fault.
It takes the edge off the sexual tension out.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
sorry. That would have been a key bit of information to say at the time, Dan.
So Edivir is just intently looking at the letters on the table, but then after maybe 6 or 7 seconds, his eyes do sort of raise around and they scan across the room and meet yours.
This is more than just a drug epidemic.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like we knew that already, just not the extent, but that's not the part that worries me.
No.
Mortal kind.
Yes, I picked up on that as well, along with a few of the ingredients having celestial natures.
Master of Shadows. We start in the shadows.
We have 2 options of who that means,
We do.
and one of them may be coming back to our house sooner than we think.
Is everyone gathered here at this point?
Mm-hmm. I would say so.
Timothy's still out in the garden.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Pim's still trimming the verge.
I didn't drop my
Leanna.
weave, sir, honest.
Leanna
Well,
is.
because nobody's really told him about the fact that people's walked in. He's just been in the garden with Bark.
Yeah, true.
So
Yeah, Leanna's still on the sofa. She's put her feet up and she's now lying on the sofa, but she is paying attention.
I mean, would it make sense for him to help us if he was involved? Would it make sense for him to deliver us this?
What are you both talking about?
We're talking about
The Master of
Raven.
Shadows. It's Tanner or it's the Raven. At least if it's someone we already know. Someone involved that we're aware of.
But he said he just didn't know that gravy was called gravy. He's had it before.
I also don't think that sounds like Tanner either. That's very.
The letter wasn't, none of the letters were from Tanner.
Yeah, it's just.
Or from
He's-
this Master of Shadows, this. Whoever that is.
Well, if the Master of Shadows is the starting point of this, and the Architect of Dreams is the one who did it, then we need someone with high connections and a lot of reach, which is either the Raven, or it is our friend up in the High City.
Yeah, that sounds more like a Master of Shadows, that pompous thick that set us up.
Or his slippery butler.
I mean, it
Edivir
works
just-
for him.
Edivir sighs and walks out to the garden.
Okay. Pim, what does Edivir find you doing? Standing there going, how do you know what stairs are?
No, what you find is, so essentially after coming out of the garden, Pim has had a little talk with Bark about how he's actually really proud of Bark for all the work that he's done, and basically giving him a pep talk, and they are practicing a handshake, which is very hard to do when you have a hollowed stump for one arm and a massive thorn for another arm, but they are trying it out, see what works, kind of thing. And then as soon as Edivir walks out, what you see is essentially Pim has created a little hole by the shrubbery, and where Bark is like lying in, so it's sort of like his own little bed. And then Pim is covering him with dirt, and it's like, okay, good night, buddy. And as he says good night, as soon as you walk out, Bark's like, and falls in on himself, creating a little dirt patch.
Oh, that's it.
With a tiny stick.
You're probably, as you're sort of turning around, you're first alerted to Edivir's presence by the striking of a match, because he's quite light on his feet. And he's just sparking a cigarette.
Do you realize that there's a lot of plants here? Like, these are highly flammable.
Puts the match in his pocket.
Thank you.
You seem like you're
I'm
in
glad
high
you're
spirits.
back, by the way.
Came to say the same to you.
Have you found Leanna?
Yeah, she's okay. We managed to. Well, I mean, I don't really know if we did anything, to be honest, but maybe Kyria did. Maybe she did it all herself, but she managed to fight her way back, and we were there to bring her home.
It's good.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry we didn't manage to do the same for you.
It's okay. I mean, you sent the Raven after me.
Sure, and
he saved my life, so technically you guys saved my life. Again.
maybe not.
I guess that's the second time I should thank you for saving my life.
No need to thank. I'm glad you're, feeling better about things after what you went through. Did it help?
It did. It did help.
We don't need to talk about the specifics if you don't want to, but
It's okay. I went on something called a spirit walk. It's like,
is that like what Kyria does, or?
I don't know. Maybe. Well, it was sort of, I was home. And it was like maybe maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes of me basically following a fox. But when I came out, it'd been like a day almost. A long time had gone. But I did get kind of a cool thing. Don't tell my grandpa if you ever meet him.
Okay. What did you get?
I'll lift up my sleeve and show him the tattoo.
Shit, nice. And he does the same thing he did to Virgil. As soon as he sees a little Glovesvig, he like grabs your arm quite invasively and just like tugs you towards him and like pulls your shoulder and like starts really inspecting it. Oh, sorry. I'm just.
No, it's okay. It's kind of cool, isn't it?
It is really cool. Yeah, it's really detailed as well. Like,
yeah, I don't know how they did that.
well, I mean, you were on a spirit walk. Maybe that's when they did it.
and I got the tattoo in the sort of spirit world, but when I came back, I had the tattoo.
Magic confuses me.
To be honest, magic confused me quite a lot as well.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. I was thinking about it a lot while you were gone, you know, because I know you don't like hurting people, and technically you didn't, but I know how it can feel to have that sort of hang of regret, even when it's something that you weren't maybe responsible for, something you didn't want to do. And here, come and have a sit over here. And I kind of sit down on the sort of stoop.
I jump up on the stoop.
See, there was the time when I was around your age, actually, and going through something similar. I felt lost, racked with guilt. And, you know, Rid and Stav, they used to prefer, you know, drinking around the fires and celebrating victories or honouring fallen comrades. But I used to spend most of my time just sitting around the fire with all the rosy-nosed old sages while they told stories and had debates. And there was one story that I remembered as I was falling asleep while you were gone. And it was a story about a tree. That's what made it remind me of you. And I'll try and remember it. I'm sorry if I'm not too eloquent with it. But he said, somewhere out there in a far off land, there's a tree standing tall deep in a forest, and it's surrounded by hundreds of other trees, but it's the master of its domain. You know, its branches reach the top of the canopy, and it's good at being a tree. Tomorrow, by some miracle or act of nature, or perhaps both, it will fall. And it will fall in such a way that it will bridge a gap across the bank of two streams. And unbeknownst to this tree, as it lays there fallen, lamenting the loss of who it was supposed to be, it will take on a second life, allowing woodland creatures to traverse the stream easily without giving so much of a thought to the icy waters below. Perhaps years from now, a hunter or a ranger or an adventurer will happen upon this tree, fixed in its new position by weather and new growth, and think to themselves as they step dry across to the opposite bank, I'm glad that was the way it was meant to be. And as the wind passes through the space where its branches once were and the places they are now, the forest will forever whistle a different tune, imperceptible to the ear, but in a way that undeniably is. The paths we're meant to take, the mistakes we're meant to make, are just streams and fallen trees. They might not seem like the right thing to do now, or they might seem like a failure, but they might lead us on a path to something better, where we're needed. I just thought that helped me a lot in that time. And I know you like trees.
I do. It's weird because I always felt very connected towards plant life. And I mean, as you probably guessed, I'm not your typical druid. I mean, I literally have a tree stump as a friend.
That is weird, and the horse thing you tried to do isn't really exactly what I've heard about. But you were a bird earlier. That's a step in the right direction.
That was not my doing.
Ah.
That was the ravens doing.
Okay, well, you know,
Yeah.
just
But I like that story.
I'm glad. I do too. Thanks for looking after us as well. We've looked into some of the materials we found, and things are perhaps a little more drastic than we may have up till now believed. There's potentially more powerful forces at work than someone trying to get a leg up the ladder on the political world. It's bad. And we've got some answers, but we've still got questions.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. Always with this city.
We came up with a new name, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'll let Kyria tell you. She'll probably do a better job. I won't make it too exciting.
Okay.
But it's cool.
Nice.
Come on inside. We should probably update you.
Yeah, I also need to check on Leanna. I know how rough it is when you come out of that.
Well,
Bad dog joke.
rough.
Oh, I didn't even notice it.
Nice.
Wow.
Edivir just kind of puts his cigarette out on the floor and then sort of looks over it, realizes he's sitting next to Pim, just kind of dusts up all the other cigarette butts which he's been stubbing out in the exact same spot for the past 3 days. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Grandpa smokes a ton.
Oh, does he? Sounds like an
Yeah.
interesting bloke, your grandpa.
You should see his pipe.
I bet he's got a few stories as well.
He does. We have an archive.
One day I want to hear more about that and this granddad of yours.
If we get the time, we should probably visit home at some point. He makes a mean smorgasbord.
In the meantime,
What is that?
in the meantime, as Edivir asks that question and Pim begins to start to tell him what that means, the rest of you are in the main foyer of the property that you're in. Virgil, I'd like you to... I sent you a message, Dan, on Discord. Have you read that?
I will read it now.
Okay. Ombrin, as Virgil has been reading out these letters and the shipping manifests, it becomes very clear in your mind the goal in which you and the path in which you were set out upon when the events that you remember unfolded. And there seems to be some very key bits of information that were just shared that stick out to you.
Yeah. So I think that once Edivir leaves, Ombrin just kind of looks over at everyone and sees their general state, realizing how tired Leanna is and how enthralled Virgil is. I think he just kind of steps over towards Kyria and very quietly, but quietly in that way that someone is thinking they're quiet, but it's not actually quiet. Just kind of leans over leans over to Kyria and
Stage
says,
whisper.
right, and says, I don't know how important this might be, but I've had some memories returned to me after being injured by the brutish fellow and asking Edivir to bash my cranium in a little bit, and I think they may be relevant to some of what Virgil was just discussing.
Oh, wait, so Edivir bashing your head in brought memories back?
Oh
Yes.
no!
It was an experiment that I
Oh,
requested,
God.
and it worked brilliantly.
Okay, noted. That's good to know. No, absolutely.
From across the table, you just hear, "We're not doing that to you, darling."
But Ombrin said it brought his memories
No.
back.
Yes, but his head doesn't break the same way yours does.
Might not break. Maybe I'm.
You're not a machine. darling.
This may not work as a way of bringing memory back for you.
Oh. Well, what was it you remembered anyway?
So I remembered much of my time before falling what I assumed would have been to my death, but was not. Perhaps that was the use of the feathering magic that saved me inadvertently. Anyway, yes, my previous life. That's going to be for much contemplation later. In my previous life, I believed that I was a navigator and helmsman aboard the ship the Horizon Seeker, where I had a number of friends, my dearest friends, actually, now that I think about it. Anyway, we were flying and carrying a great amount of cargo, many of which were alchemical supplies that appeared on the lists that Mr. Virgil was just reading from. And we were attacked by another ship, a smaller, faster ship with a great deal more violence attached to it. And much of the... many of the attackers bore symbols of the snake and such that was also on the sails of the vessel.
Oh, okay.
I see.
So that, and to me, this whole thing then originated outside of Skyhaven. It was brought in. They took. It's like a pirating operation.
Do you,
Coordinated.
Ombrin, do you remember your destination? Where you had come from or where you were going to while delivering these alchemical substances?
Do I remember that, Dan?
You will know that, yeah. You will know that, being the navigational first mate of the Horizon Seeker. You know that you were flying from Evercrest to... one second. Sorry, 1 second. You were flying...
Vamping.
Did not realize you were gonna ask me a question.
Yeah, I know
you
that.
were flying from Evercrest to Illyria.
Okay.
Ombrin would just casually say that as if it was, non-consequential.
Wait, so you were from Evercrest?
Sort of. I was born on the Horizon Seeker. I
You were
am
born on the ship.
They made
well,
you.
in a sense. As the ship was constructed, so was I.
Oh.
In order to
Oh.
fly the Horizon Seeker.
Are many of you created to fly ships?
Oh, I couldn't say. I've never met someone such as myself.
No, no one has. That's the problem. Okay. Right. And do you remember roughly where you were attacked and your destination for you to have landed where you did?
5.24 days walk north from here.
Do you think your ship went down close to there? Will there be wreckage or remains?
Very likely there would be wreckage of the Horizon Seeker still. It was a very sturdy flying
That could be very
smaller
useful.
cargo vessel. The angle of the attack and such, you see, when I fell at approximately a 14-degree declination and would have landed with a great deal of force, but nowhere near the amount of force that the Horizon Seeker would have landed. With the engines going, it may be several days additional travel in the north and eastern direction, very likely, given the way the path was going.
Okay, but we don't know when this was, though. Do you know how long's passed?
I cannot say for how long I was deactivated upon striking the ground with such force as to leave a crater.
No, I could imagine that would escape your mind and you wouldn't be fully aware of that. Okay, so there's a ship that's being fixed, though, right, Virgil?
Yes, sorry, you said...
Man.
Yes, everyone met me. Someone was
Oh,
building...
we didn't meet them.
No,
I did.
What was his name, darling? What did he say how far out he was?
It was something to do with his beard, grey beard, silver beard, ginger beard.
Grey beard.
There we go. Yeah.
It could be a lead. Do you remember anything about the attackers of the ship that boarded yours, Ombrin? Anything at all? Names, descriptions, people?
Oh, yes. And he proceeds to go on for like several minutes of just recounting every single minute detail of every single pirate that he like murdered.
Does any of the descriptions match Greybeard?
They do not know. But Virgil, I'd like you to roll me a history check, please.
History.
Yes. Based on something that was mentioned a little while ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's
good.
Does Ombrin go into description of the people you were on, like your crewmates?
Not yet.
Not yet.
The question that was posed to him was describing those that attacked, so that's what he focuses on. And I think he concludes with the tall fellow with the silver hair.
Sorry, my role, I'm both reading and taking things in, and this is hard. Why did I pick intelligent character? 23 for my history check.
Okay. Ombrin mentioned to you all his starting destination and where they were going. The Isle of Illyria.
Mm-hmm.
Virgil, you know the history of Illyria, and you know that the Maharoti people from the Isle of Solasta conquered the Isle of Illyria some time ago. And you know that was, I would say, 30 to 50 years ago. So you know full well that trade routes between Solasta and Illyria are very, very few and far between. So what strikes you as strange by Ombrin mentioning that they were going from Evercrest to Illyria does not make sense right now. Why? And the ingredient, why would there is no active trade deal, and you know full well that there is no trade deal between Solasta and Evercrest because the Dread Sultan of Solasta has his eyes firmly fixed upon Evercrest and wishes to conquer that island.
Right,
So the idea that there would be a trade vessel of Ombrins and the Horizon Seeker traveling from one port in Evercrest to Illyria makes no sense at all to you in this point.
Has sort of listening to Ombrin and taking a listen, Virgil again sort of sits back and starts to think on everything that's come forward and sort of taking just shouts, Edivir, Pim, can you come back in, please? We've got things to discuss.
What's going on?
Nothing makes sense.
What do you mean?
Ombrin.
I'm sorry if my news
No.
has troubled you, Mr. Virgil.
Mr.
News?
Virgil's my father. Please stop calling me that. It's actually not Mr. Virgil at all.
I
It's
was going to say, yeah.
something else, but I'm not Virgil Jr. There is
Very well.
no trade routes between the 2 points you have just mentioned. There is nothing.
Sugarist, there was stuff coming in from
No.
all the time.
And for the sake of not repeating it, Virgil sort of goes through the fact that these things in history have happened, that they don't make sense, that there is no active trade route between these two things, and the fact that it's happening is in itself an anomaly and should not be.
Wait a minute. Wasn't there news? Didn't you say that there were news in the newspaper about
Signatories.
Hold on,
it was like some diplomacy thing going on? They were in...
yes. The dignitaries from Celasta have come here to. Hold on. Yeah. Something
to
in
do summit.
Yeah, no, there's so much to take in.
There was something
You
about
cho- Yeah, you
don't-
chose this
don't-
character, brother. I'm throwing all the information at you because you wanted this.
Yes, I know I did. I'm just reacquainting myself with the facts. A Celasta emissary was attacked recently, and they've come here to broker peace or something along those lines, but they shouldn't be, or I don't know. The fact of the matter is, what is happening is strange, and it is not what follows from what Ombrin has said, which I don't believe to be incorrect, because he is mechanical and not capable of imagination.
So wait.
That was offensive.
Are we talking about?
It
What are we
wasn't an emissary, Dan. Read the message again. It was an embassy.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, I was talking about the emissaries from Celasta were coming here because an embassy had. Yeah, sorry, I got the things mixed up. But emissaries from Celasta had arrived because an embassy has been attacked.
Can I get some clarity on something, please? Because I've been in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Oh, I thought you were asking me. Sure.
Wait, who are you talking to? Me or the voice in the sky?
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you guys. The real people sitting in this house that we're in.
Yes, the walls. They're right here.
Everyone just looks around for a second.
What are you talking about? Because what is Ombrin? Are we talking about the shipment in this manifest, or are we talking about what's Ombrin got to do with it?
So Ombrin has remembered that a lot of what he was transporting, or whatever ship it was, between these 2 points, was boarded by another vessel that, from your descriptions, Ombrin bore the symbol of the snake in the skull, correct?
Oh, and he whips out his dagger and points to the butt of it. So it was good.
You
Then.
think that'll work on me?
No, we're not doing right.
No.
Let's put that to bed now.
No. Well, that's so. Wait. Over the next 5 minutes, Edivir gets updated on what's going on.
Yes.
Okay, so if that journey is impossible, or that is very unlikely, that trade route doesn't exist. He points at Kyria. You seem to think it does.
Well, it did.
If I could make an additional point of clarification, I don't know whether this matters. The captain was very, very distraught regarding the job that was being forced upon him to transport these materials. He seemed quite upset not only at the content of the materials being hazardous, but also the destination was annoying, would be a good way, I think, of describing.
Well, it seems to me like it was never intended to reach that destination in the first place. The interception by this pirate ship, or whatever it was, this gang ship, was clearly planned from the start, so that they could get the materials without a paper trail.
You say this job was forced upon your captain. Do you remember who was doing the forcing? Who initially started this job?
I was never involved in such discussions as that. My responsibilities were very limited to plotting out the routes and making sure that the ship continued to fly.
Well, what we need to follow... Go on.
You didn't overhear anything of the sort?
I overheard agitated, drunken conversations about such things as having to fly into dangerous lands with dangerous materials.
Well, I think...
Also, it may be relevant as well that our flight took place in the cold point in the year, and given the fact that it is now spring, perhaps I was unconscious for a great deal of time. But also, given the materials, I cannot say for certain if what we saw in the warehouse might have been related definitively to the ship materials, but it was very familiar to me, and I think that some of those materials may not have a very long shelf life.
DM,
Mm-hmm.
this world has like a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is the current year?
A not very good one for you. No.
True.
So you're the wolf.
So this is the it's a weird question I haven't even thought about. You caught me on the back foot.
Always happens at one point
Oh,
in the
just
campaign.
generate a
someone's-
number. Just generate
Yeah,
a
yeah,
number.
yeah.
With his finger thumb down, everyone.
It is the year 1163.
Okay. So with knowing that, she's going to ask Ombrin, what year did you start out? Because if this has been going on for a long time, you may have been asleep longer than you realize.
1162, Ombrin.
I had anticipated that I may have only been inert for months, given that the year now and the year of my last recorded knowledge for navigation, it makes sense.
So not before whatever went on that island happened. So this is a new trade route, not a previous trade route that you've just been lying dormant for 50 years.
I would anticipate less it being a trade route and more of a proposed trade opportunity.
Well, that being the case, I don't, like I said, I don't think these goods were ever meant to reach their destination. I think the intention was for them to be stolen so that they could be used for illicit means without a paper trail.
So what the theory is that people who contracted Ombrin's crew to take these goods also planned to talk to pirates to raid the ship and bring the goods to here so that they could start the flux thing.
Well, if you think about it,
It might have just overheard that that shipment was going to take place,
they're
and
very
then decide.
specific materials, though. I mean, as someone who has to acquire a lot of their materials without a paper trail, stealing them is the best way to do it. And I have been in situations before where I've paid someone to buy them because they have a legitimate reason to, and then they've told me where they're going to be, bought the stuff for themselves, and I've stolen it.
Edivir, is your suggestion that someone set up my crew and the Horizon Seeker to be raided by pirates and then murdered?
What, possibly?
I think that the people who are doing this are willing to do a lot more than that. And if you ask me, rather than the ones who loaded the crates, you know, anyone will do anything for a good trade opportunity. It's not hard to find someone to make a dangerous trade route if you offer them the right money. But the person purchasing the goods, they're the ones controlling what goes on the ship, not the ones selling it. I think whoever purchased these goods, wherever the purchaser on these manifests is, they might be
Ombrin,
somehow involved, or at least they
as
might
you've
have a mole.
continued to talk, Ombrin turns away from all of you and just starts walking towards an empty chair, very like head down, and then sits and morosely says, "This is most distressing."
I'm gonna go up to Ombrin. I don't know if you do this, but I want to ask before I do anything. Would you like a hug? I usually hug my friends when they feel sad.
Will it make you feel better?
I don't know, but maybe it makes you feel better.
My friends would hug me often. I can't say that it ever truly meant anything to me, but I appreciated that it meant something to them. So if it means something to you, and he just kind of leans down and like wraps his large arms around Timothy.
As I hug him, I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds.
Did make you feel better.
I don't know if it
Tim's
does
quite
help.
nice, isn't he?
But you know, I don't know if it helps towards a mechanical creature, but I'm gonna try.
As you begin to embrace Ombrin, there is a at the door.
Edivir approaches the door.
You gain 7 hit points back? Question mark? DM?
Healing magic does work, and I think actually you would see that a couple of spots underneath like in between the seams of the metal, you would actually see like a small flower sprout up and like emerge from it, implying that he has like wooden bits underneath of the metal.
I'm Timothy, by the way.
I know
Thanks.
your friends talked a great deal about you, and I heard your name mentioned. Are you injured? Leanna's claws were not very pleasant upon you.
It's okay. I'm fine.
As
But
the
it's nice
duff-
to meet you.
And you as well.
As Leanna hears the duff at the door, she does, as quick as she can, sit up, and she's wildly looking around for her axe.
You see it across the room on the very opposite end in the kitchen, sat up against the table.
As Edivir walks towards the door, Virgil just looks after him as he moves and says, "Are we sure about this?"
We can't just leave him standing out there, can we?
We could. Do we trust him enough to bring him in on this?
Not all of it.
Right, let me...
Hide some of the letters.
And yeah, as he does, Virgil's going to take away the letters between the Alchemist of Dreams and the Shadow Man, and sort of fold them, put them in his bag, and just leave the manifests out, and maybe the book describing the process of making it, but keeping it closed.
Okay. You open the door, Edivir, and the Raven has stood there. He goes, "Well, that takes care of that."
Yeah, that part of it at least. We managed to get Leanna back without any harm.
Good. May I come in?
Or anyone else? Sure.
And he kind of steps over the threshold and sees that you're all gathered in the same room, and he's like, Good. I managed to bring the SBC over towards the warehouse. They are meticulously investigating it now. At least gets it off the street.
Yeah,
but
hopefully.
What have you learnt? We know the name of the place?
We have the name of the building we were in. We have a lot of ingredients.
Okay. Name of the building.
We have a recipe.
Okay, so that only confirms what we know already, and also confirms what we don't. Now, the name of the building, you say?
Yes, the Allison Alchemical Company. Allison, whatever it was. Elysian, thank you.
Okay.
Allison's
So-
Alchemical Company.
The town hall will hold public records of all businesses and companies owned by people within the city. Find the name of the owner of that, find the next lead.
my thoughts exactly.
Indeed.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, Mr. the Raven, as we seem to be calling you now, do you trust the SBC?
I don't trust anybody. But the ones that I do trust, I only trust as much as they trust me. You fine folk have gained that trust, and I hope that I've done the same for you. Do I trust the SBC? Do I trust a bureaucratic army that's been put in place within a city to protect people, but also incite fear? No. I don't trust systems. I don't trust bureaucratic bureaucracy. I don't trust people's agendas. I can trust people for who they are, but what they want and what they believe in, who can really trust that?
So what do you trust then?
I said people.
I trust...
Yes, I get that, darling, but that's a long list of things that you don't trust, but what is it about us that you do?
I trust that in the darkest of night, the sunrise will eventually come. I trust that not all things are set in stone. I trust that the smallest pebble dropped in a lake can cause a tidal wave. I trust that small people can make big change.
That's a lot of poetry, and it's quite stirring, I know, but if we're going to really work together on this...
Then how about you ask me plainly what you're trying to ask me instead of beating around the question, Virgil?
I did ask you. I said, what do you trust in? And you gave me poetry. Why don't you stop beating around the bush and actually start engaging with us properly?
I don't trust...
We don't know anything about you.
Okay, so I save your friend's life. I save your lives on multiple occasions. I put myself in harm's way. I help with this investigation as much as I can. I do almost everything you've asked of me up till now, but yet you don't trust me yet.
As we do with you, I don't disregard what you have done for us. We have done exactly the same with you. What I am saying is we don't know what your plan is. We know nothing about what you want. We know nothing of why you have come to us specifically, trusted us with your agenda, because you have one, clearly. You don't trust them, but you have one. So what is it you want? Genuinely, I just want to know, because if we are going to work together on this, I need to know that we're not going to end up in jail or dead in an alleyway.
While this is getting more heated, Leanna stands up and moves to behind the Raven, places one paw on his shoulder, looking at Virgil.
Okay.
He's done nothing not to earn our trust. And until that happens, he has mine.
Look, there's some things that you don't know about me. There are a lot of things that a lot of people don't know about me, and I tend to keep it that way. The less you know about me, the safer I am. The less people know about you, the safer you are. That's just a fact of life. The more you open up to people, the more you share, the more vulnerable you are. I do not intend to be vulnerable ever again. Now, you asked me what I believe in, albeit through an interrogational way. Fine, I understand your back's against the wall and you may have it up right now. Your guard's up. That's good. That means that you're being cautious. I believe that people in this world and the realms beyond, the downtrodden, the voiceless, often go under heel for the majority of their life. Like I said, I believe that the littlest of people can cause the biggest of change. Now, the way I operate and what I do and my belief is that by enacting small change within the little people, the voiceless, the downtrodden, they may find a voice of their own. Now, you look at me as somebody that can't gain trust, that moves in the shadows. I don't intend to be like that forever, but what I try to embody is an image, a symbol, something that someone can believe in. Because without belief, then aren't we all downtrodden?
Can I do an inside check on the Raven?
Sure.
Yeah,
No one trusts him apart from Leanna.
Throughout this,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to join in on that as well.
throughout this time, he's never really spoken much about his motives. But what he's saying now sounds awfully similar to what we heard of Malgrave.
Sure. Roll me an insight check.
So does his mannerisms in like micro expressions and things like that, do they
Mm-hmm.
resemble what Malgrave gave us when we first talked to him?
Sure. Go ahead and roll me an
Um,
insight check.
During this,
Can I
basically,
guide myself?
Sure.
Kyria for a good while has not said a thing. A good while. It's since you were talking about, dates and the
Mhm.
trade routes and stuff like that, and clearly went in on themselves, fiddling with their earring. And then when Mr. the Raven entered and Virgil and him had that conflict, you can see that they start shaking and they're actually backing into a corner and making themselves as small as possible for the first time ever. They're just like, nope, 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 nope.
Okay, what did you roll?
Edivir had kind of.
Right.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
What did you roll insight?
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you got that. Anyway.
I rolled a 16, so I want to get on it as well.
15 plus 6 is 21, plus 4 is 25.
25.
Oh, good.
You do not sense the same micro expressions, mannerisms of Malgrave. They are two very distinctly different people. Though what he has said sounds familiar to what Malgrave may have whispered or said at the time.
But that feels more like a coincidence,
Yeah.
you would say.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And
very good. Very good.
Virgil, you get the same same information. Raven turns round and says to you, look, like I said, I understand. You have your guard up, you're being cautious. Trust right now must be very thin with very few people. You're in a city of strangers, surrounded by people that you don't know if you can trust or not. You're set upon a path right now, and I must assure you that our paths are aligned now. No words that I can say might make you trust me, but maybe this will. And you see, for the first time, he reaches up to his hood and pulls the hood back.
And it's Thessel.
Please don't be Tanner. Please don't be Tanner. Please don't be Tanner.
And you see Greybeard. No, I'm joking. You see, stood before you is a human man with short brown hair, matted. Edivir, you've seen this, but very under the cover of very heavy shadow and never really picked many of these features out, but you now see that all of you, that one eye, his left eye, is actually white and has a cut mark from the top of his eyebrow across the eye and to the bridge of the nose. And you see that it looks as though he has been attacked and maybe a sharp implement was once stabbed in the eye. Mm-hmm. You see that the individual in front of you does not look at you with trepidation but genuine look of, this is me. You see that their face has a few other scar markings across cheek, one near his chin. You see that he has usually cleanly shaven, but there is 1 or 2 days of stubble growing in across their face. You see that they're just a normal, average, everyday looking human man, looking you dead in the eye.
Man.
And
We're just
looks-
normal men.
Innocent men.
And he looks towards you, Virgil, and goes, "You're right to question. It's a good It's a good path to take in life. Question everything. Take everything you hear, see with a pinch of salt. But I trust in you. I just hope that, maybe not today, but eventually, Virgil, you might be able to trust in me.
As he pulls the hood down and reveals his face for the first time properly to everyone, Virgil takes a few seconds to sort of look across the face before walking very directly towards him and placing a hand on his shoulder, and finally a smile breaks out. A wry one at that, but he just... Well, this is a very good start. It's nice to finally put a face to a name, Raven. I'm Virgil, and it's finally a pleasure to meet you. Now, he sort of turns to everyone else to try and gauge sort of... He knows Leanna's already thrown her lot in with this guy, but he turns to look to everyone else just to gauge the feeling of the room and how everyone is looking towards him now and sort of what they seem to be doing.
Well, with that, I also, because I was standing behind the Raven, when Kyria started to sink into the shadows, so I was looking forward at them, would I have noticed this retreat?
Of Kyria?
Yeah, because everyone was looking at the Raven, apart from me. I was behind the Raven looking at them.
You will have seen the 3 or 4 half paces back from Kyria during the heated exchange.
Right,
but as Virgil, you introduce yourself to the Raven, he turns and goes, "It's a pleasure to meet you all. My name is Finian, but you can call me the Raven. Finian, Finian. But you can please just refer to me as the Raven."
Well, it's very, very, very roguish. I like it.
As Virgil sort of turns around to gauge sort of the rest of us, Edivir just says, "Well, I agree with what you said. I agree with what Virgil said. I think you're both kind of arguing the same point at the same time, but those points butt heads. I think, takes more than a name and a face to make me trust someone already. But you are also right. You have done a lot for us, enough to at least quell some doubt. But some doubts are hard to shake. So for now, I think you deserve to know that we do know more. And that there are some aspects of what we do know that call some things into question. I think for now we've got a lead that we can follow up. If that lead doesn't lead us where we need to go, then there may be more to share later.
Well, I've already said how I feel. And she removes her hand from your shoulder and she strides across the room straight to Kyria because she's seeing her in distress and she doesn't give a bullshit about this anymore. The smart ones are dealing with it. So.
Just before we get to that, I don't want to take anything and kind of cross to different points because I feel like this is quite an important moment. You see Edivir, Finian looks at you and kind of goes, "Very well. Well," and pulls the hood straight back up and goes, "You know how to reach me. Take rest. I'm sure our paths will cross soon enough. Take care." And just turns and starts striding towards the door. And as he gets to the door and places his hand on the door, looks over towards you, Ombrin. Just kind of nods his head towards you and just goes, looks back towards the group and goes, "I wish you good fortune, friend."
When I said we, I mean all of us here.
That's you included.
When Edivir says this, Virgil looks to him for sort of like a look of approval to reveal the letters from the bag. Like he sort of looks like he'll give him like a look to his bag and sort of, you know.
Yeah, and he'll just close his eyes and give a short nod,
Mm.
just a short head shake, and say, "Elysian, we need to find out what other sites they have in the city. We'll need your help with that."
Then I'll do exactly that. I'll be in touch. Opens the door, steps through it, shuts the door, and walks off into the streets of Windmere. Leanna, you march across the room towards Kyria.
I kind of duck down so I'm eye to eye with her and put 2 soft hands on your shoulders. Are you okay?
Hi, yeah.
What's that's a lie.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
She's just gonna look at you like,
I'm fine. I don't know or understand anything that's going on, and
that's me half the time.
I thought it was like 1060 something.
You thought
It's fine.
no? It's obviously not. It's distressing you. You thought it was 1060 something, and you've just found out that it's not.
Yes.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
It's fine.
It doesn't matter. That's it. I think I prefer Mr. the Raven.
Leanna,
Okay.
you see as Kyria is talking to you, you see her form start to shift to
You're here.
her corporeal form.
Kyria,
Say it's fine.
You're here. It is fine. It's
Yeah.
You're home, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I'm
Breathe.
Kyria,
Yeah.
it's 11:63. It is 11:63.
How loud was this conversation, just out of curiosity? Between
Not,
the two of you?
not very. You were continuing to engage
Yeah.
with the Raven.
And I was trying to be separate to try and calm her and figure out what's going wrong with her. So yeah.
Nothing makes sense.
Well, if we talk about it, maybe we can help make sense. I don't understand what's going on half the time, and sometimes you need to say it out loud.
I don't know how to say. I don't know what there is to say out loud. I don't know what's going on. I don't. More in essence, we got the Arpologia like a few years ago,
Okay.
right?
And what year was that?
I don't know anymore. I don't know
That doesn't-
anymore. I don't
doesn't matter.
understand. It feels like it matters because everything. I feel like the ground's dropped from beneath me and I don't understand what's going on.
Okay.
It's fine, though. It's fine. I just keep going. I just keep going. I'll forget. I keep going.
You don't need to forget. I put things away when I can't deal with them, and maybe I should. But if you're not ready to deal with them, just know you can always say, I might not be able to help because, as I've already said, I don't understand most things, but some of the others might.
They start crying.
Kyria,
She hugs her.
in your head, you hear a faint whisper. You shouldn't be here. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
How are you doing, Dan?
God.
What
It
are you
was
doing?
Andrew. Andrew said about half an hour ago, emotional damage. That is what we're here for, apparently.
Good lord.
Oh,
We're gonna call that session where it is.
Okay.
Thank you everybody
What an episode.
for coming
Oh,
in
yeah,
and
man.
watching
Right?
us. So before we kind of end off and call the stream where it is, again, another word about our proud sponsors, Awfully Queer Heroes, Valkyrie RPG, and Tom Carter's Battlemaps. You can find all of
Love
their
you guys.
wonderful materials. There's links down in the About Us section of our stream. Please just take a few minutes after tonight's stream, just head over to there, check them out, do everything you can to just see what they're about. They are very, very proud sponsors of ours. They've supported our stream through thick and thin over the last 12 to 18 months since we started. So a huge, massive thank you and shout out to our sponsors. So please make sure you go and spend a bit of time scrolling through their websites, because they do have some truly amazing things to make even your D&D game as wonderful and as dramatic as ours.
If not
I
more.
want to say a huge thank you to you guys, my players, and another massive thank you as well to you, Miko, who has come and joined us. I'd like to take this opportunity to plug your stuff, tell us about any upcoming streams that you might have, and where we can find more of your content, please.
Yeah, sure. So I am Miko, otherwise known as the OKSGM. I am one of the co-creators over at Folk and Myth, and you can find out about pretty much everything we've got going on over at folkandmyth.com. This coming week, we've got tomorrow night D&D game in my homebrew world of Ystera. And then Friday we are premiering, well, I guess it's technically premiere, the next arc of our Vampire the Masquerade Lights game.
Ooh, nice.
And then on Saturday, I am going to be guest jamming the second of two parts of my Eberron noir-esque game over on Wanderer's Haven.
Oh, nice.
If
Oh,
if
man,
you're
I'm gonna
if
watch
you're
that.
yeah, the VOD is up on Wanderers Haven's YouTube channel already, and part 2 is going to be a lot of fun. There's a great cast of folks there. It's very like 1940s mystery kind of game, and the players are digging it, and I love it. So tune in for all of that, and of course you can check out all of our socials to keep up on all the crazy stuff we got going on. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you very much. That about wraps everything up for us. We are going to be raiding another channel. We raided them a couple of weeks ago. They're called Natural Six. They are a recently founded D&D stream full of some wonderful, wonderful cast members. And the DM was actually a star on the Last Kingdom show that you might actually see on Netflix. He's incredibly talented. I've watched the first 2 episodes of their kind of short form campaign that they're currently doing. It is incredible stuff. So make sure you hit loads of raid emotes and everything in the chat. Go show them all the love and support. They're an incredible bunch. So thank you everybody again for coming and watching us. Tune in next Tuesday for episode 17 of Aerilon, A Destined Journey. We love you. Take care. Bye.
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 Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.